looking forward to that.
Be fun.
Yeah.
For some.
You got big plans for tonight?
I don't. I did all my Halloween festivities over the weekend, so might be going to bed early.
Nah. How many kids you got coming by in your neighborhood?
I live in an apartment complex on the second floor. There ain't no kids coming up there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You should just put, like, something frightening on your door.
To deter them anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, and I'm not really going to get into proposals, suggestions. You know. You know.
Just some fake blood, some yellow tape.
Something to that. That's kind of where
something sinister is beyond these doors.
That's where my head was.
Nightmares beyond their comprehension.
Yeah, that's where my head was. Something like that. Like, oh, you know what?
Or I can just write on the door that the Jets are on national television on the other side of this door and no one's going to come near, because that's terrifying.
Why? Listen, is Aaron Rodgers? Look, I don't want to sound naive because I'm not. So I ask some of this a little, tongue in cheek, I guess. But is Aaron Rodgers that popular? I mean, this is the Jets' 8th game, and like 6 of them now, including tonight, have been on national television. I don't think the country cares that much, because they're still the Jets. And that part I really don't say in jest. I know some people go, well, Jay, they could have been good, or they could have been better, or they could. Nope. They couldn't have been.
It's one of those, you gotta kind of have to prove you're going to be different, because you just have such a history of futility.
I mean, they're the Jets, and I don't say that to even rag on them. I mean, I'm using history. I am using the results of seasons past as my guide. I'm not going like, silly Jets fans or whatever. No, just look. They've done things, and the things they've done tell you decade upon decade upon decade upon decade upon decade. And I said 5 times on purpose, because the last time they were worth a darn is when Joe Namath led them to the Super Bowl. And I'm getting older. I wasn't born yet. They stink, man.
Haven't even been to a Super Bowl since then.
I mean, I don't even know. It's like, so I'm not going to watch that game tonight, basically out of some type of silent protest.
There are plenty of good scary movies to be festive with and watch instead.
Yeah, I kind of want to tune in for a minute for the Houston quarterback, not the New York Jets quarterback.
The one who's not on the wrong side of 40 with an Achilles injury,
but
recovering from one.
I don't know. I don't. We'll see. Anything else like it? Is there what's college football tonight?
I don't even know.
Okay.
All the Conference USA stuff's over with this week.
Yeah.
Play most of their games on Wednesdays.
All right.
Hey, maybe MTSU plays tonight.
Well, anyway, we'll see. But I don't think I'm going to watch the Jets tonight. Maybe I'll watch something Halloweeeeeeeeen.
Yeah, it's last night to do so.
Yeah, it's fair.
Festively, at least. You can watch a Halloweeeeeeeen movie at any time. But this is the last time to do it in a festive manner.
Yeah, I'm down with that. We'll see. We don't get tons of kids at our house. Just kind of where my house is situated. We get some. We don't get a ton. But, and, I don't have any kids to take trick-or-treating anymore. So we'll see.
So it's a little quieter in the Phillips house.
Maybe I'll go.
Trick-or-treating?
Yeah.
There you go.
Why not? I need some candy. What do you think the reaction will be if I go?
I'm going to get a knock on my door tonight, and it's going to be Jay asking for candy. I don't know what to give you, bud. Here's some leftover cheese sticks from Pizza Hut a couple nights ago. You want some?
Maybe that's what we should have done as our bet.
Make the other one go trick-or-treating.
Loser has to go trick-or-treating by himself.
And dressed in the goofiest thing
Because the thing is, we probably
imaginable.
won't get an opportunity to make that particular type of bet. We could just make something. But again, I'm not really big on that. Not because I'm afraid of losing. I'm just not big on the wagering thing. I just never really have been. I've told you that. But this year, it did work out, kind of naturally for us in the sense that, people in the NFL decided that this was the year that the NFC South would play the AFC West. And so our two teams played one another. And it was a natural reason to just go, well, hey, why not?
To add a little bit of a juice to what was otherwise a beyond juiceless football game.
Yeah, it was not a really pretty game. But anyway, so I hope you all have fun tonight wherever you might live. I know some places get tons of people and some places don't, and some people turn their light off and some people eat all their candy first. Try not to do that. My daughter, who just moved into a place, my most recent college graduate, daughter number 2.
In ranking or in age?
Well, see, you did that to me the other day, and I was like, nah. It threw me when you said that.
You didn't think about it.
I didn't.
Trying to get you in trouble.
No, not a ranking, not a poll. No, number 2 in age. She and her roommate have a place over in Shandon, and she said we made a mistake. We bought the big jumbo bag of candy to make sure we didn't run out, and then we ate it all.
That's a veteran move.
Yeah. So it sounds like 22-year-olds.
It's a veteran move right there.
Yeah.
You buy it with the intention of, or not even the intention, just for the appearance of giving it away.
Well, and where they live, they're going to get a lot of people. So, I hope they went out and bought extra. I am wearing a Superman shirt today. That's about as good as I can do for dressing up. So, I did what I could.
I was asked a couple times what I am for Halloween today.
I'm still really.
Some of us came dressed up to work because we had a costume contest.
You've got a retro. I'm assuming that's a retro shirt, and it's not something that was actually bought and made while the Doors were still a band.
No, they're probably not.
Yeah, because if you did have that, that'd be pretty cool.
I mean, that would be cooler. But I'm just tired, man. That's what I'm for. That's what I am for Halloween.
Well, like today, I'm not gonna lie.
Sleepy.
Now that you and I have been working together for a while. And I am older than you. I'm going to tell you that I'm disappointed in you because you've got the haircut and the beard is shaped, and today you've got the chain on.
Yeah.
Why you aren't here as Barry Gibb is really I'm disappointed.
Yeah, that's fair.
I am. I'm really upset with you.
Yeah, well, get in line, brother.
I think the rest of the show is gonna be, there's just gonna leave a mark.
This is gonna be like the fake punt in the South Carolina Ole Miss game.
Yeah, I'm gonna fixate on this.
This is gonna leave a dark cloud over the entire radio. Program.
Years from now, I'd be like, Jay, remember that Halloween show y'all did in 2024? Like, yeah, that was when Elijah had just gotten his hair cut.
He looked
the
like
beard was in perfect shape. Oh. He had the chain on, and he chose.
Yeah.
To not come in as Barry Gibb.
He came in as tired instead, which is a significantly lesser of a Halloween costume.
Yeah, because Barry Gibb never gets tired.
No, absolutely not. Not on the Barry Gibb Talk Show.
No. So there's that. We got some Gamecocks to get to. We got some Aggies to get to. Elijah was at last night's men's exhibition game, so we'll talk about that as well. Dodgers win the World Series.
They did.
In 5 games.
Dramatic fashion.
Bigger fundamental blunder. Aaron Judge dropping the fly ball. Garrett Cole not covering first base.
I'll say Garrett Cole not covering first base because that's hustle related.
I agree.
That's giving a bleep related.
I'm glad you said that. And look, I only pitched through high school, but as a former pitcher, trust me when I tell you how often we worked on covering first base.
Frequently.
It is so fundamental. If the ball is hit that way, you run to first. Period. It's instinct. It's reaction. There is no thinking about it. And because when I didn't, and really, trust me, after about 2 weeks as a freshman, because I'd never pitched until I was a freshman in high school. I'd never pitched. All right, all coming up from whatever age to age 14 in high school.
Never got you on
pitched.
the bump.
And so I did have to learn a few things. But trust me, after about 2 weeks, it was never an issue again for me, I assure you. In fact, I enjoyed going to cover first base. I was like, all right, I'm helping my team. Helping me.
You get to run a little bit.
Yeah, I'm doing something. This is good.
You see that stupid look he gave over Anthony Rizzo, too?
Yeah.
The funniest thing is, too, man, like Anthony Rizzo's never going to be confused with Usain Bolt anytime soon. He ain't getting to the bag real quick. The guy will move at the speed of smell. You expect him to get on the ground, make that play, and then outrun Mookie Betts to first? Are you kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me? And then pointing at the base like he should have already been there?
Yeah,
Guy hadn't moved that quick in years. What do you think's going to happen? It's a hustle thing.
But last night, of the 7 runs the Dodgers scored, 5 of them were unearned. And I told Elijah, I saw a poll question this morning. Did the Dodgers win the World Series? Did the Yankees blow the World Series? The Dodgers won the World Series in 5 games. The Dodgers won the World Series. The Yankees blew a chance to extend the World Series when they were up 5-0.
The Dodgers won the World Series. The Yankees lost Game 5.
Yeah.
That sums it up pretty well.
But if you win the World Series 4-1, you were dominant.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know?
And you get in a game like that last night. You're up 5-0. Your ace pitcher is in the 5th inning.
Yeah.
Hadn't given up a run.
Yeah.
You got to win that game.
You do.
At home.
Absolutely.
Got to win.
Oh,
that
absolutely
game.
you do. Absolutely you do. So, but I'm happy for the Dodgers. I got nothing against the Dodgers.
Good for Mookie.
Yeah, I like a lot. I mean, I love Freddie Freeman. Obviously,
He's got 3 now.
Not gonna be a Freddie hater. Freddie has his second one. Freddie, the MVP last night or of the series. I like Dave Roberts. Yeah, I heard that at the end of the game. Mookie Betts is now the only active player to win the World Series 3 times. That's
He's
crazy.
a winner. Guy's a winner.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And a fantastic bowler.
And I'm happy for him. And again, those 2 Nimrods, who I hope never get to go back to a baseball game again. They'll be going to the Staten Island whatever game.
Whatever minor league is up there.
Yeah.
I hope they get banned from the Cape Cod League too. If they
should just get banned from baseball. Like you guys are so stupid. You can never go to a baseball game again.
Congratulations, dweebs. You did it.
We got some college football news to get to as well around the country, so we got a big Thursday afternoon planned for you. Coming up right after this, our good friend Lulu Kesson on the beat for the Greenville News, covering the Gamecocks, the latest from around the program as they get ready for a top 10 matchup with A&M. And about an hour from now, our buddy Louis Bellina, midday host in Bryan and College Station, will join us at 11:50 a.m. He's got a lot of stuff going on over at his station, and we'll get him in about an hour's time with some Aggie perspective. But Lulu is next on the Postgame Show.
The Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
We all love streaking. I mean, streaming. Until we have to pay for it. But not when you stream the game.
And how much does it cost?
It's free.
Just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the 107.5 The Game app. And stream for no charge. And listen for no charge. 107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Honda Pioneer side-by-sides are the go-to machine for work and fun. And Carolina Honda Powerhouse is your Honda side-by-side superstore. Honda Pioneer 3-seaters, 5-seaters, and 6-seater models are in stock on the showroom floor. Big jobs, big property, and big hunts demand a Honda Pioneer. Come see the Honda difference for yourself. Carolina Honda Powerhouse, exit 70 off I-20. Turn by the Flying J. CarolinaHonda.com. For your safety, read the owner's manual. Wear a helmet and eye protection. Always wear your seatbelt and keep the side nets and doors closed. Honda S/S's are for drivers 16 years and older.
Are you a Gamecock fan that's looking for flexibility to attend the games you want without committing to season tickets? If so, the Gamecock Go Pass is for you. For only $20 a month, your Gamecock Go Pass subscription provides you with access to all non-conference football games, most men's and women's basketball and baseball games, and all softball, soccer, and volleyball games. Plus, you have the ability to add on tickets for conference football games and premier basketball and baseball games for an additional cost. To learn more and sign up today, visit thegamecockclub.com/go.
Honey, would you take a seat? I have a confession to make.
What is it? What's wrong?
Well, I was out driving today and I saw some hookers on the side of the road. A bunch of huge, professional, beautiful-looking hookers. So I did what I was supposed to do. I slowed down and I moved over.
You slowed down for the hookers?
Well, yeah, it's the law. There was a whole fleet of Schroeder's towing trucks assisting with an accident. Wait, what did you think I was talking about?
Schroeder's Towing reminds you to slow down and move over for all first responders.
Strutter Talent, the best and fastest hookers in town.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Kickstart your day at 9 a.m. with your Carolina Pick-Me-Up. Sponsored by South Carolina's largest injury law firm, George Sink Injury Lawyers. If you're injured, call all nines today.
Get George Sink Law Firm on the line. Call 999-999.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by for a few weeks.
We should do what my brother did. He went to billshappen.com and got $3,000 the next day.
With our bad credit, I don't think so.
Billshappen.com is different. They are one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope, my brother said it was easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. Billshappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to billshappen.com, and we will have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line, 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence. The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Elijah Campbell.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
18 minutes after 3 o'clock on this Halloween Thursday. Welcome back into the Postgame Show alongside Elijah Campbell. I'm Jay Phillips. Again, I'm not afraid to share my extreme disappointment in my co-host. Had the
Which is worse than being mad.
Perfect opportunity to come in as the great Barry Gibb. Chose not to. Choice.
Yeah, it was a choice.
A choice.
Admittedly.
Yeah. You weren't forced into wearing a Retro Doors t-shirt.
This is a sick shirt, though.
It is.
It is a sick shirt.
It is. Now, if you had come in, you might have even been able to do that Jim Morrison period when he had a beard, and I could have given you a pass on that one instead of Barry Gibb.
I could have shown up completely hammered, too, and would have really pulled off the Jim Morrison bit really well. That's part of the costume, actually.
So
the alcoholism comes with the costume.
There will be no disappointment in our next guest, Lulu Kesson, joining us. She is on the beat covering the Gamecocks for the Greenville News. But, Lulu, if you would like to share in my disappointment of Elijah, you are more than welcome. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. See, that laugh was, I'm not going to do that. I'm not taking that bait.
Because she's a professional.
Yeah, it's true. Let's just get into the football part of things here. Unless you want to talk Halloween, Lulu. Maybe we'll do that before we get you out of here. Let's look to Saturday. Importance of this game now after A&M's win the other day. Bigger for whom this weekend? Shane Beamer, Mike Elko?
I think Mike Elko. I think, it's the biggest opponent or the highest ranked opponent South Carolina has played this season. Yes, South Carolina, I guess, has bigger issues right now than Texas A&M does, but I think it will look worse for Texas A&M to drop this game than the expectations are for South Carolina to win it.
Mm-hmm. And is it just me, or like this week with the press conferences with Shane, Dow, and Clayton, it seemed pretty upbeat? I feel like there's a swagger about this team right now. I think the Oklahoma win probably did something to them within the confines of that locker room, going on the road and just kicking somebody's tail on the road, regardless of who it was. That I think, rolling into a game like this, they have some much needed, mojo, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I definitely got the same kind of upbeat, positive energy. I think, too, honestly, having such a poor performance out of the last bye week helped them, because I can't imagine they'll even let that happen again. Whereas if the first bye week they, had a great practice and came out great, they might do the reverse and come out sluggish this Saturday. So I think in the sense, they had a good mojo going about them. It was a good vibe. The vibe was sort of like, hey, we feel great. We're confident. We did what we did against Oklahoma. Let's build off of it instead of, plateauing here.
Talking to Lulu Kesson of the Greenville News, Carolina A&M Saturday night at 7:30. Shane and Dow obviously not going to let a lot on in terms of any tweaks to the scheme. Nothing wholesale is coming around right now, but how much do you feel, from what you've gathered, I'll kind of stay with what Elijah asked you about the press conferences this week. Is this going to be more about harnessing everything that Lenoris has been doing well in this offense, or is there still an opportunity to expand what the Gamecocks are trying to do on that side of the ball?
I think, and I said this morning, and granted, I will acknowledge, I don't know Texas A&M, the back of my hand in terms of their offense, but, on paper, it looks like South Carolina is just a little bit more versatile. Texas A&M just doesn't seem like they love to throw the ball. It's mainly just their really strong rushing attack. And so with South Carolina, I think they win this game if they're able to throw the ball well. Lenoris, the run game for South Carolina, it's just been so hot and cold that it's hard to really predict what South Carolina will lean into this weekend. However, defending the passing game, Texas A&M struggles, whereas they're pretty comparable to South Carolina in terms of defending the run game. So I wouldn't be surprised if South Carolina, throws a little bit more at them in terms of just surprises when it comes to the passing game. But at the same time, it all sort of depends on how Lenoris Sellers does, and if he continues on this upward journey where, Alabama was arguably his best game, but he had the most detrimental mistakes and those turnovers. And then the Oklahoma game, it's really kind of hard to judge because it was such a vanilla offense in the second half overall.
And one key for South Carolina is going to be stopping this A&M run game, which is arguably the best. I know statistically it's the best in the SEC, and they had their way with LSU last Saturday night. And one key player in terms of stopping that run is going to be Boogie Huntley. You're going to have to hear his name a lot in the interior defensive line. Him and the rest of those defensive linemen. I thought you wrote a really good story about Boogie this week in terms of maybe not just, the production on the field doesn't necessarily reflect his value within that locker room. What was it like putting that story together and kind of getting to know the value of Boogie Huntley that kind of transcends what's just on a normal stat sheet?
Totally, and I think well, thank you, first of all. That's very nice of you to say about that story. I'd be lying if I didn't admit that, I was always the athlete that never dropped more than 10 points. And so when I did, the little things, I was always like, hey, that's the reason why this was able to happen. We're able to score 25 points. But anyways, going off of that, it was sort of like Boogie's never going to get talked about the same way Dylan Stewart and Kyle Kennard are in terms of this defense by nature of his position. But what I've noticed about this defense is just it's rock solid and consistent. And it's just, I feel like South Carolina, their identity on offense has been such a mystery, so up and down, whereas you can't say that about this defense. And putting together that Boogie Huntley story and talking to Clayton White yesterday about it, it was clear that the entire team's level of appreciation for what the D line is doing is strong, and it's high, and it's they're constantly talking about that it's every single person on the field on defense that's doing their part, doing their job to allow these edge rushers to do what they're doing and to allow Demetrius Knight to do what he's doing this year and Debo and everything like that. So, with Boogie, that story I just felt was sort of natural because it's like, hey, why are these players that are talked about so much able to succeed? And a lot of that is because of players like Tonka and Boogie and TJ.
Yeah, I've said for years, Lulu, that Alex Huntley is going to be governor one day, maybe something even beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
At what point during the interview did you think to yourself, like, man, this guy could be governor one day?
I noticed that even back in August, the very first time I talked to him, I was just like, oh, you have a different energy about you. And I could tell just the way he went about himself, his eye contact, his tone of voice, there was a lot of respect there. And then obviously as I've continued to talk to him, it's sort of like, heck yeah, this guy has a really long future down the road outside of football, just by the way that he goes about life and cares about himself and his insight and his perspective on not only his own journey, but his teammates as well.
He's a terrific young man. There's no doubt about that, known him a long time. Lulu, a couple last things here for you. With seeing how poorly LSU defended Marcel Reed last week, what does that say for South Carolina this week? Are you getting an idea from Clayton or anybody else you've spoken to about how they might need to refocus what it is that they do? Elijah's told us that Marcel can throw the football very, very well, but Carolina's so good at getting after people. If he's getting away, what might that change?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the main question of will South Carolina succeed? It kind of goes to that point. And, I think about the Alabama game a little bit. It sort of felt like they took everything away from the passing game just really quickly. Alabama wasn't ready to adjust on offense to the speed that South Carolina's, defenders were kind of coming at them. And so I think that with, Texas A&M this weekend, and they're so physical, and it's just kind of like these two teams playing at their strong suits, whereas with LSU, I just think that in a sense they weren't as aggressive and doing a good job against A&M's quarterback the way that South Carolina, I guess, has been known to do this year. So I'm curious of how that plays out because I think Clayton White's identity this whole season has just been scouting, and South Carolina's been so good at executing on defense that if Texas A&M, plays the way it has all season, I think South Carolina will be prepared, and it won't be like oh my God, we haven't seen that before, we have to panic. I think South Carolina's just been a very scout-based, execute-based team on defense.
Lulu, great to have you as always. Appreciate it. Have fun here tonight for Halloween. If that is in your plans, enjoy the ball games this weekend, and we'll talk to you real soon. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm dressing up, so thank you. Happy Halloween.
Have fun. There you go. All right, that's Lulu Kessin, LU, Lulu, Kessin, to follow her along the Twitters and catch her work at it's greenvillenews.com.
Yes.
There you go.
She's on the football beat and the women's basketball beat. We didn't get to any women's basketball questions this time, but during hoop season, we'll have to get her on as well. Doing pretty good work there as well.
Pretend I'm Lulu, and you ask me if I think the team is going to be really good this year.
Hey, do you think the team's going to be really good this year?
Yes.
You didn't sound confident at all.
Very good. Yes.
Is a team that returns all but one player from an undefeated national champion supposed to be pretty good?
Yes. Very good. They're going to be very good.
I guess that's a reasonable take.
They're going to win a lot of games.
Basketball games.
Yes. They're going to score a lot of points. The other team isn't. And they're going to win the bulk of their games.
I like that formula.
Thank you. I'll do what I can. Appreciate Lulu's time. Lots more to do on the postgame show.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach.
The Game Network.
It's back! The Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest. Just go to 1075thegame.com and register. The pot starts at $100. Every week it increases $100 if Carolina doesn't score a special teams touchdown. But if the Gamecocks do score a special teams touchdown, you could win the pool. Again, just go to 1075thegame.com and register. It's the Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest from 1075 The Game.
Holidays are getting close, y'all. In fact, if you believe today's the start of the season, then we're already into it. And that is going to ultimately mean family and friends coming into the house and a whole lot going on later on. Now might be a great time to spruce some things up. And you say, well, I'm not going to drop a whole bunch of cash right now. Here's the good news. Use the equity in your home. Go to PalmettoCitizens.org. Check out what they can do for you with a home equity line of credit. Lower fees, lower rates than the big banks. Why? Because Palmetto Citizens is not for profit. So that means they return all their earnings in the form of those lower rates and fewer fees. Plus, you get a 10-year draw period. So you need a little now, a little later. That's when you're borrowing it, not one big lump sum that you're paying interest on and say, well, gosh, I don't really need that much money. Don't do it that way at all. Stop into any of their 14 convenient Midlands locations to learn more. Or, again, you can apply online at PalmettoCitizens.org.
Considered by many steeplechase experts to be the championship of all steeplechase races, the Colonial Cup. Now it returns on Sunday, November 17th, presented by Mulliken Law Firm. Come tailgate at Camden Springdale Racecourse. Enjoy races, shopping, and unique entertainment for everyone. Special thanks to the sponsors, including the City of Camden and Kershaw County. Reserve tickets at CarolinaCup.org. Don't miss the Colonial Cup, Sunday, November 17th.
AAA Heating and Air is on the hunt to find the oldest AC unit in our Midlands service area. Do you think it could be yours? If you do, it could pay off. AAA Heating and Air and My Oldest AC contest is kicking off, and you have a chance to win a new HVAC system for your home. Just head over to their website, myoldAir.com, and complete the online entry form. AAA Heating and Air will draw a winner at random for every 100 entries. It really is that easy. Contest is limited time only. Residents in the AAA Heating and Air service area are eligible to enter. See the terms and rules on their website for a full list of contest rules.
Calling all business owners and property managers.
Is it finally time to get that parking lot or driveway repaved?
Call Black Seal today. Black Seal is a locally owned commercial asphalt construction and maintenance company, servicing local churches, schools, shopping centers, warehouses, restaurants, you name it.
If it needs asphalt paving or asphalt repair,
Black Seal has you covered. If you're looking to pave your parking lot or driveway, Black Seal paves the way. Black Seal also provides maintenance options to maintain your asphalt
and improve your curb appeal.
Get your free estimate and visit blacksealsc.com to learn more.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal right now. Get up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Yes, you heard that right. Up to $20,000 off. Don't wait. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Chevy, together let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
Since 1963, Takeuchi has been a pioneer in the compact construction industry, having developed the world's first compact excavator in 1971 and the world's first compact rubber track loader in 1986. Takeuchi continues to revolutionize the industry through innovative technology and listening to customer needs. Now you can partner with a truly global leader by contacting TEC Rental Equipment in West Columbia, Orangeburg, and Somerville. From world first to world leader, Takeuchi.
Have a passion for serving children and families? Apply to become a child welfare case manager at dss.sc.gov. This message is sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Social Services.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show. Terrell Davis, former NFL player for the Denver Broncos.
When I played, if I had to get a message out, it was probably through my agent, or I had to tell somebody in the media. Now, I can just tweet it. I can just put it on social media. You hear a lot of things that you don't want to hear, and then your family hears it, they tell you about it. So it's definitely a different environment.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet
on the Game Network.
Just talking some Carolina football with Lulu Kesson of the Greenville News. Appreciate her time. Louis Bellina will join us coming up in just a little bit. Our buddy Louis, who first met Louis. We were Radio Row neighbors in Hoover, Birmingham, at Media Days. I want to say it was the very first year A&M joined the league. Don't quote me on that. It's been a while. And but Louis has been with us many, many times, and he is the midday host at The Zone Sports Radio, Bryan College Station, and he'll be joining us coming up in just a little bit. So looking forward to talking with him. You were at the exhibition game last night, South Carolina taking on the College of Worcester. Reaction? Thoughts?
Hard to take away a bunch from a game in that setting where, there's not a lot of people there. You're playing a Division III opponent, and almost any time they score on you, it's not going to look great because you physically outman them every time. I do like what Lamont said after the game. He said, if we wanted to, we could just post up every possession and we'd score a bajillion points. We don't learn anything about our team. So there was a lot of experimentation. So I took a lot of it with a grain of salt. But one thing that, there's a couple of good and bad things, right? The good is that Cam Scott offensively has that shot down. He's got that thing on him when he's playing ball, right? Like he is a threat to shoot the ball anywhere. Got a quick release, and it's something we all knew. Anyone that watched him in high school knew that he could score the basketball. And he did a really good job of it last night. Had a little bit of a slow start, I think short on one of his early shots, but ultimately ended up with 16 points and hit a few threes and looked really good in the process. Had a really good pump fake to get a defender out of the way, sidestep, dribble, knocked it down, and he shot the ball really well. And Arden Conyers off the bench, 18 minutes, scored 16 points and hit his first 4 threes. I don't think he'll be doing that every time he steps into a game, but I think he's the way they talk about him and the way he looked last night, I can definitely see him being a pretty critical rotation piece for this basketball team and somebody that can really help them out. My biggest concern would be, I guess, defensively, they're not where they need to be yet. I think there's going to be a pretty, I won't say intense, but an uncomfortable video session on Friday when they go back and look at the film for a few of those plays. And a lot of it Lamont said last night, which I thought was pretty spot on, was they had trouble guarding the ball at times. And you don't want to, be accused of having trouble guarding the ball against a Division III basketball team. That was something last year's team just wouldn't do, right? The last year's team was really good at guarding the ball. And last night there was just a couple of blow-bys that don't need to happen, right? In Cam being one of those players, he alluded to a play where, one of the wings for Worcester, about a 6'1" guard, just beat him off the dribble and took him to the rack and got a layup out of it. Can't have that. You can't have a lot of stuff like that. Right. I think offensively they picked it up. They looked a little lethargic in the first half on offense. It felt like a lot of going through the motions. They didn't do a lot of, I feel like, complex stuff offensively. There were some basic sets. I think you got a little bit of a glimpse of what they might try to run at times, especially with Nick Pringle and Colin Murray-Boyles in the game at the same time. I think we're going to see a lot of high-low action between them and a variance of different offenses out of that, utilizing the passing ability of both of those guys. So I think we'll see a lot of them in the game at the same time, and I think that's going to be a really challenging look for other teams that they play on the schedule. So for the most part, defense, not where I don't think they're where they need to be, and not who is right now at the same time.
Yeah.
But so there's a lot of things they need to clean up right there. Offensively, I think you're getting a little bit of a framework for what they can be, or at least what they'll try to do on that side of the floor.
Let's listen to a little bit of what Coach Paris had to say. Cut 22, please, Mr. Campbell. Coach Paris, just overall thoughts on the ball game last night.
Productive game for us. You get in these games, and ultimately, here's what you would like to have happen. You get tested in this area or that area. You get a chance to see what some unknown commodities look like when they get out there. Some of them under the lights for the first time. You want to play a team that competes. You want to play someone that's good. Honestly, I don't like doing it if the team's not good, and they were good. They have a good team. I'm looking forward to following them this season and see how they finish. I'm really excited about that, actually, because think they have a really good team. But so I think it was really good for us, very valuable for us. It's going to be a really good film session for on Friday. We're off tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to some of the messages that we'll be able to send. We had some young guys that really went in there and performed, and that was really exciting to see them take that moment and grab the bull by the horns and go out there and perform well. So very, very successful exhibition game in that it provided us everything that we could have hoped for.
Before we played that clip, Elijah said that Friday's film session could be, what'd you say, uncomfortable?
Uncomfortable. Lamont's not going to be the one yelling, but
Lamont
at the same time.
Lamont says it's going to be good.
I know.
So you're right, because that's what he means.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's what he means.
I was going back and forth with someone on Twitter last night, and you're talking about, I might be looking a little too far into it. I'm like, I don't know if, sure, a bad defensive performance against Worcester in the first half of an exhibition game to start the year isn't necessarily the end of the world. However, there's some tape that now exists that I'm sure some of these players will not want to watch in the room with their peers.
Wait, was somebody already complaining about the team, or just
no?
Okay,
I was looking too far.
Okay.
And as someone who had played the game a long time and studies it rather religiously, I'll nitpick in a game like that just so I can try to see what I can learn from a game like that. And there is some tape that I will say in that first half that I will not want to be some of them in that film session, as someone who has been the primary focus as some of those film sessions, as someone who could not guard the chair you're sitting in, Jay Phillips.
This chair has wheels, man. So I mean,
it does, which is all it's going to require for it to be able to take me to the basket.
Yeah.
That was not my forte.
Let's hear the other cut that we have here then to kind of back up what Elijah's saying, Coach Paris, on why each half seemed to go a little slowly to begin.
Yeah, I thought we were lethargic and generally careless in a lot of ways. I haven't watched it over yet, so I don't know this. But I feel as if during that stretch we're turning the ball over, right, against a team that isn't known for their full court pressure or anything like that. But we had some careless turnovers. Our shot selection wasn't great. I think some things have bled into that. That wasn't the first thing to go, but our shot selection wasn't great. So that made us really ineffective offensively, and at the same time they were doing some things, defensively we had some breakdowns too. So we just, in that timeout, we talked about energy. I subbed. I brought some new guys in that timeout, and our energy was better. I mean, point blank. I thought and as you come into the game, whether you're a starter or you're coming off the bench by nature, you have to be inserted in the game with energy. Otherwise, there's no use in subbing. And so I thought that group that we put in brought some real energy. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I think everything else fell into place when we started playing with a lot of energy.
So 86-60, the final score last night against Worcester. Carolina's first 5 games, 4 of them are at home. And, of course, it starts off Monday night, the regular season does. North Florida will be in town. Then SC State next Friday. Towson after that on Tuesday the 12th. Gamecocks travel to Indiana on Saturday the 16th. And then they will host Mercer on the 21st. So, again, all but the Indiana game will be here in Columbia at CLA. Then the Gamecocks, right before Thanksgiving, head down to Fort Myers for what are they calling it here? The Fort Myers Tip-Off. Sorry, I thought it had some other kitschy name, but just the Fort Myers Tip-Off. That's nice. They'll play Xavier, and then they'll play either Michigan or Virginia Tech. So you're going to get a couple of good tests.
Really hope it's Michigan. That's a really good test. I think Michigan could be a sleeper to win the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I like the build.
There you go.
Roster.
And then Carolina will travel to Boston College. So a lot of home games early, and then a stretch where they'll be away from Columbia for just a little bit. All right, so we'll have more basketball thoughts for you coming up in just a little while, too. But right now, let us give you a chance to win the first of 3 pair of tickets. So we'll get 1 pair right now. Caller 5, 803-404-6100. You want to go to the A&M game? It's sold out. Saturday night. Electric atmosphere. You could win 2 tickets right now. 803-404-6100. Caller 5. Good luck.
107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
The Game TV.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute. No Yankee fan will ever forget that complete and total dumpster fire of an inning, especially because things seemed so good until that point. Until then, it looked like they were actually turning things around. Credit where credit is due. The better team and the better organization won that series. I'm Jim Rome.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Peter, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Former CIA Officer Jason Hansen here. In my line of work, I've seen firsthand how fast the world can change. With rising geopolitical tensions and inflation eating your buying power, it's time to take action. For me, that means gold. And for gold, I exclusively trust Advantage Gold. I urge you to do the same. Call them now at 800-900-8000 for a free gold guide to discover the security that comes with owning precious metals. Again, call 800-900-8000 today.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Elijah Campbell.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Welcome back into the post-game show. Who are we congratulating, Mr. Campbell?
We be congratulating David.
Ready to go, David.
David's just won 2 tickets to Paradise. He's going to pack his bags. He will leave tonight.
Look at that. Way to go, man.
Yeah.
Hell, the Paradise is Williams-Brice on Saturday. And it could be.
It could be. Or It could be a house of horrors.
Yeah. But there
Happy
will be a
Halloween.
winner and a loser. There's no more tie in college football.
Yeah, this is America, buddy.
I still find it hard to believe that in 1986, South Carolina tied twice. And I was like, you know what? They'll never do that again. And then in 1990, you know what South Carolina did?
Tied 3 times.
No, they just tied twice again. But still.
It would have been funnier if they did it 3
Like,
times.
man, how you tie? You know, like, come on, stop doing that. The thing is, in '86, they tied Virginia Tech and Clemson.
Ooh. A tie against your arch rival is so unfulfilling.
It was terrible.
Final score of this game, inconclusive.
Right.
Like Dick Pepperfield.
I wouldn't say, as someone, especially then when I was in, I guess, what was I, a sophomore in high school, that I would necessarily have wanted Clemson to have won the game. But, you know, a tie was not, it was terrible.
At that point, if you tie your arch rival, the PA speakers have to be contractually obligated to play the song "Why Can't We Be Friends?"
And I'm trying to. That game was in Death Valley. I'm trying to remember. Carolina tied Louisiana Tech. I got to go to the 1990 schedule. I can't remember the other tie now. Duke, maybe?
Fighting Terry Bradshaw.
Anybody remember? I know somebody out there is screaming at their radio. I'll find it in a second. Elijah and I were just joking around. Right now, we have our TVs on here in the beautifully appointed Herndon Chevy Studios. And one of them is on ESPN, and ESPN's daily NBA show is on. Malika Andrews and Big Perk and Shanae and others. And they're all dressed up today. It's Halloween. And they're all in like big, like it's funny because Big Perk is dressed as Batman.
I thought he'd be dressed as a loan shark.
That'd be good.
That'd be accurate.
It would be accurate, man. Would be accurate. But that's another story. No, today he is Batman.
Bernie Madoff.
But I was telling Elijah that, you know, like, God forbid something happens. And then I was telling him, too, this morning on the Today Show, like, everybody on the Today Show was, they brought them out at like 8:30. They all got into costume. Now, for the first part of the show, they were, you know, in their regular, you know, business attire. But then they all came out in costumes and whatever else. And I was like, man, we're 5 days out. Like, I don't, you know, I know we're not going to elect a president today, but if something happens, and let's face it, something can happen at any point, right? I'm like, and the I forget the guy's name, but the guy that's like the White House correspondent, like the chief White House correspondent, was there today, and he was dressed as Mrs. Doubtfire, which in and of itself is fine. But what if something, like, what if some, you know, big time campaign news, and I don't know what it would be, I don't care what it would be, comes out, right? Or something happens down in Washington. And here he is at Rockefeller Plaza dressed as Mrs. Doubtfire. Let's go to Bob for the latest.
Where he does the report.
Hello.
I have bad news.
Yeah, like, I mean, you know, like, but like today, you know,
that would actually be really funny.
Well,
you know?
it would.
You know,
It's a good bit.
It would soften the blow of what would be potentially harming news.
But I suppose
whatever it was.
I suppose the only thought I had was that kind of, and I told Elijah this just now, like at the State of the Union address every year for a long time now in this country, when the president is addressing the Congress there in January, one of the members of the president's cabinet stays in a safe room somewhere in D.C., just in case. And you're like, God, that would be terrible. Yes, it would.
But a sweet gig for the cabinet member. You just get to go chill out for a little bit.
Yeah, you get like all
Your
the
job just
Doritos
to
you
live.
want.
Yeah, you got all the snacks.
You can just get the bar is open.
Endless ginger ale.
Yeah.
You got the game on down there.
Right.
You can just bro out with yourself for a little bit.
Game. You could also play game. They got like a PlayStation and an Xbox.
I'd love to
be
a
great,
designated survivor. The odds are that you're not going to have to be used anyway. Right. So, like, the whole stay ready soon after get ready thing, probably not applicable to you. Yeah. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah.
So, I suppose that NBC News today, and I guess the others, I watch the Today Show. I mean, it's not that I have any, well, I do have a preference, I guess, at the Today Show, but it's not against ABC or CBS.
I'm really big on the Tomorrow Show.
You know, there used to be a show called Tomorrow. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I guess they have one, like, you know, anchor, like some midday person on MSNBC or something, like, hey, just in case if we need like the breaking news thing to come out, like you will be the face of NBC News. You're like, whoa. I'm the midday person at MSNBC. Nobody knows who I am. Like, well, better hope nothing happens then.
You're about to, brother.
Yeah. So
on second thought, I think all the bad news I ever want given to me in my life needs to be by Mrs. Doubtfire.
It would soften the blow.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Yes. A terrible accident in your town.
You've been sent to a debt collector.
Stay indoors for the foreseeable future. All right. Louis Bellina talking A&M football. Lots more to get to on the postgame.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20K off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Oh, I'm really excited to tell you about something that Integrated Media is doing. And you may say, well, Jay, you're always excited about that because you have Integrated Media stuff at your house and you have for a long time. Yes, true. I've also told you about ProSwing out in Chapin, next to world headquarters of Integrated Media on Snapdragon Court. I have even better news. ProSwing is expanding and they are moving into Forest Acres soon. Details will be coming, but they are coming into Forest Acres with a location that I am told is about 4 or 5 times larger than the current ProSwing. That's about all I can say for now. But it's going to be awesome, and it's coming soon. In the meantime, you can still get all your great home theater and everything else you need to get ready for the football playoffs and the holidays. 803-948-8327. Our friends at Integrated Media and the soon-to-be new ProSwing.
I'm Russell Ott. If you're like most people I talk to, you're just tired of the nonsense in politics. It's getting harder and harder to really know where candidates stand on the issues. Politicians seem to pledge their allegiance to parties rather than people. All the silly games do nothing to help families and businesses that are struggling to pay the bills. It's time to push back on politics as usual and get back to common sense solutions that work. That's how we create a stronger South Carolina. I'm Russell Ott, and I'm asking for your vote for state senate so I can get to work for you.
Paid for by Ott for Senate.
Fall is here, and with it comes all the traditional family outings like tailgating, mountain and beach adventures, and road trips to grandma's over the holidays. Wherever you go with great gas mileage, safety, technology, comfort, and style in a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. Right now, you'll get more for your trade than ever, and as always, you'll enjoy their no-hassle pricing, no-pressure buying experience. Honda of Columbia, your friendly family Honda dealer since 1978. Highway 378 at I-20.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by for a few weeks.
We should do what my brother did. He went to billshappen.com and got $3,000 the next day.
With our bad credit, I don't think so.
Billshappen.com is different. They are one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope, my brother said it was easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. Billshappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to billshappen.com, and we will have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
Firehouse Subs, Hook and Ladder jingle, take one.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin sliced honey.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast bread, mustard, mayo, purpose bread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants.
I don't know what's scarier, the spot your pet just left on the carpet or the idea of you trying to clean it. Good thing you can call my friends at Zerorest Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning to get your home insanely clean. Take advantage of their spooktacular savings and get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $129 when you mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game. Easily schedule your cleaning online, ZerorestColumbia.com. Zero, a smarter, lasting clean.
WNKT-FM, Eastover, Columbia.
The home of the national champion Gamecocks women's basketball team. Congrats, y'all.
A Cumulus media station.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Elijah Campbell. On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
4 o'clock on this Halloween Thursday afternoon. Welcome back in. Second hour of the postgame show coming at you from the Herndon Chevy Studios in downtown Columbia. Alongside Elijah Campbell, I'm Jay Phillips. Again, I'm expressing my extreme disappointment in my co-host. He got his hair cut a couple weeks ago. He's got the beard going right now, and he looks an awful lot like a young Barry Gibb of Bee Gees fame. And he's even wearing a chain today, and he could have totally pulled off like Disco Barry, and he chose not to. And I'm trying to. Actually, I'm not at all trying to mask my disappointment. I'm here to let it out. I'm trying to have this be a cathartic moment. I've got a Superman shirt on. That's the best I could do today. I mean, I could have done more, but again, like I was just saying, I don't want to come in here like something goofy looking or whatever, and then something major happen, and I've got to give you like a serious story while looking like whatever. That's not good for anybody. But yeah, again,
that's how I want bad news read to me.
Yeah, no, I get it. But but the bad news today, like I said, is that Elijah chose not to come in dressed as Barry Gibb. Wasted opportunity, man. Just wasted.
Well, you act like I'm not going to look like this forever.
Well, I don't know what you're going to look like. I
want to age gracefully.
Yeah, you do. We all want to. But who's to say that, you don't get another haircut like this time next year and that it's even shorter than it is right now, and then you couldn't pull off Barry Gibb. Then you're just some dude with hair and a beard.
Honestly, at this point, the more I wake up every day and look at it, I'm like, I think I might want to keep it this length for a while. Like, maintain it. Like, I kind of like it.
All right.
At first, I was like, I'll get
That's what you say now.
Yeah.
But it's only been like 2 weeks since you got your hair cut.
Yeah. And I love it right now. I was originally, get it cut like relatively short now and then grow it out. That way I don't have to, pay for a haircut for like a year and a half, 2 years. But now it's really, pun slightly intended. It's growing on me.
The girlfriend is happy?
Oh, loves it.
Okay.
Loves it. It got a 10 out of 10.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. It's look good, feel good, baby.
Yeah, trust me. I let mine grow out a little bit, and people were like, "Don't you usually keep your hair shorter?" I was like, "Well, Mrs. Phillips said she kind of liked it this way."
Yeah, I've seen pictures of you with your hair out a little bit, and I was like, you know what? Like, I think it needs to make a return.
Yeah, I can't.
I say you should grow it out until the women's basketball team loses a game. I can't get it cut. I cannot get it cut until they lose a game.
I don't think they're. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I kind of like I like the thought of that.
That's a good concept. That is a good concept. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to get a haircut before then.
Don't.
Yeah. I got like some serious stuff to do at one of my girls' schools here in a couple of weeks. So why is that?
A couple of weeks ain't going to be grown out too bad.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know.
Now, in a couple of years, if they still haven't lost, and now you're starting to look like
there's
me,
there's the fear.
Then it's going to be really funny.
There's the fear because if you, I don't know, man. Hang on a second. Let me look at something. Let's go real quick.
Review the evidence.
No, I'm going to go to their schedule.
To see when the first potential loss is. They got to play Texas twice this year. And Texas is really good, man. That was a team that was one bad quarter away against NC State from playing them in the Final Four.
Yeah, they play NC State next week in Charlotte. I mean, that could, they could. At UCLA, I don't know.
UCLA is pretty damn good.
And you got to go out to L.A. Duke is pretty good, but that's here. You're playing Texas Christian in their gym.
Not a bad team.
Yeah.
Tough schedule, man. That's a tough non-con slate, and the conference got better with the addition of Texas.
At Tennessee on January 27th. at Texas on February 9th, home with UConn on February 16th. And then they got upset a couple years ago in the SEC tournament. Look, if you say to me, are you going to – I've said this seriously for a minute. Like, when South Carolina women's basketball plays a basketball game, I expect South Carolina to win the game. There is not a game where I go like, it could be a toss-up. So when they go to Austin, which I imagine is probably going to be seen as the single most difficult game on the schedule.
Yeah, I would say so. A true road game in Austin, will be the...
I still expect South Carolina to win that basketball game.
Yeah, as you should. I mean, even with this tough schedule, they'll be favored in everything.
But chances are they probably do lose at some point along the way, right? It's just hard to win every game.
It is, which is why you should commit to the bit right now.
In my youth.
Oh, come on, Jay. You're still in your youth, relatively speaking.
In my youth. I told you about that guy that came up to see us at Columbia Craft, right? He's like, why do you say you're old? I was like, just self-deprecating fun. And then he said, I'm like 70, and you shouldn't say that. And I'm like, I'm sorry. He was very nice about it.
You are still in your youth, so...
I feel young, I assure you. Believe me, I
don't
don't act 54. I'll tell you that much. I'm at least trying to stay below the age line from an action standpoint. Some football to get to. Again, our buddy Louis Bellina, 11:50 a.m. The Zone in College Station, going to join us in just a little bit. Want to get into this real quick, though. A couple weeks ago, we had the story from our buddy Brad Crawford that potentially Clayton White would be one of the names high up on the list of potential candidates to take over at East Carolina. Yesterday, during his press conference, Clayton was asked about how he looks at the potential of being a head coach anywhere.
It's one of those things where, obviously, being here at South Carolina, if you do great things, I mean, sometimes you get noticed, sometimes you don't, and you feel like right now the way our guys are playing, you want to keep them locked in and playing that way. So your focus has to be all on them, and those are things you have to worry about after the season, and that's what that's what the life we chose. So right now it's really locked in on let's finish this month of November, and then those things are coming up if you want them. But right now I'm not in a hurry to be a head football coach. It's one of those things where I want to lock in where I'm at right now and really do a great job of being a DC and coaching players and coaching coaches and keep putting the product that we put on the field this year, I think, and just finish it first and foremost. I think that will be something to look forward to later on.
I think Clayton would be an excellent head coach. I don't know when the opportunity comes. Timing is everything in those kind of things. We talk about that all the time. Timing is everything. But he's from, that part of North Carolina. And look, there are others who are higher up on the list, according to Brad, and others that are following that story. Brad Crawford, I mentioned. But, Clayton is going to see a bump in pay if he hangs around here, and he's making 1.2. I could see easily, a couple $100,000 added to that, if not more.
Especially considering how LSU kind of reset the defensive coordinator market in this league.
And you don't ever, and I'm not predicting this by any
I would love
stretch.
to be Clayton's agent right now.
Yeah. But, how high, listen, Clayton's doing a great job. But what you don't want, if you're South Carolina, and maybe serious again here for a minute, is for somebody to come along and go, well, Clayton, we'll give you another $1 million, man. And I don't know if they will. I'm just throwing that out there.
Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah, I don't know that that's in the offing. But I think from everything I understand, Clayton and his family are very happy in Columbia. They've been here since Shane got here. Again, he's making a lot of money. $1.2 million goes a lot farther in Columbia, South Carolina than it does in a lot of places. Maybe not so much around the SEC, but look, I think when the time is right, it happens for Clayton, and I think he's showing that. Again, I could see a good 20% raise being there, 30% raise being there.
Especially after the year you had.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you look at what happened at the end of last year, leading into how this year has gone. Then I think there's a really good case to be made. That's why I say, I would love to be his agent, because I've got so much ammo to work with in terms of bargaining power with just how much they've been able to turn it around over the last, you've played 7 games this year. It was really the last 4 last year where you had that turnaround. So over the last 11 games, You have played phenomenal on the defensive side of the football. Yeah, that's good. That's good ammo to work with if you're trying to be the offer fielder for Clayton White, and you're talking to East Carolina and be like, hey, for your head coach position, how much? Okay, cool. Well, I'll talk with South Carolina and be like, hey, we can stay for this amount of money, and there's a lot of leverage. He's in a good spot right now. This is the type of year where you can really cash in if you'd like to, depending on what you want to do. That's another thing too. I mean, he's mentioned having to think about it. Some defensive coordinators don't want to be head coaches. Like we mentioned, talk about John Chavis the other day.
Right.
That guy could have gotten an offer to be a head coach anywhere. He was such a successful defensive coordinator at multiple different SEC schools. Like at multiple stops, the guy had really good defenses. Just always want to be a DC.
Yeah.
Just want to focus on that side of the ball. And some guys are. At that point, it's a career preference for some of them, too. That's something you have to really think about, too. Like, what do you really want in this coaching profession? Have you reached your pinnacle in terms of what you want to do? Because being the head coach is a whole lot different than being the DC. And if you're just one of those guys that just really love one side of the football, studying how to beat an offense, studying that part of the game, then it might behoove you to just stay where you're at and just get a raise and stay here in South Carolina and continue to do that job.
And with the job he's doing, and the kids love him too, you would also believe that that's an investment in your roster, indirectly, keeping Clayton around for at least another year, with a big raise. And, hey, I want to play for Coach White. I don't want somebody else to come in, or I don't, and again, with the fluidity of rosters these days, the coaching profession has always been one that is rather transient, right? Now players are matching that, and you're trying to create some stability, so it behooves you to keep him around for a while. But if he becomes a head coach, good for him.
Yeah.
But don't know if it's going to happen this year or not, but he was asked that yesterday. Good answer. And that's what you would expect. Hey, I got a job. I got a good job. And right now, that's the job I'm doing. So, but I agree with Brad Crawford. I see a raise in the offing, or at least the offer of one. So we'll figure out what that looks like at the end of the season. All right, let's hit the break. Come back on the other side. Our buddy Louis Bellina of The Zone Sports Radio in Bryan and College Station will join us. Louis has been with us many, many times talking Aggie football, basketball, and baseball. But the Aggies coming into Columbia this weekend. What's he expecting, and what are they looking like after that big win over LSU? Louis Bellina joins us when the postgame show returns.
The Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
Hey, this is Terry Ford, 107.5 The Game. We just want to invite you to a real special event coming up at the Dillon Columbia Supply Company. It's their fall open house, November 7th, noon to 2 p.m. It's your chance to meet their incredible team, check out their products and services, and get exclusive event day specials. Whether you're in the industrial, construction, steel, or safety business, they've got the tools and supplies you need. Again, Thursday, November 7th, noon to 2 at Dillon Columbia Supply Company, 320 Orchard Drive, West Columbia.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Sponsored by Metz Plumbing.
Leaky pipes? Call Metz Plumbing. With over 30 years of experience, we fix it all. Call 732-DRIP for expert service today. Metz Plumbing, your personal plumber.
Metz Plumbing, 732-DRIP.
Bothered by back, neck, shoulder, or joint pain? Get back in the game with The Joint Chiropractic. No appointment is necessary and no need to worry about insurance. The new patient special includes a consultation, exam, and chiropractic adjustment for just $29. Walk in today without an appointment. It's affordable, and clinics are conveniently located in Forest Acres, Harbison, Killian, and Lexington. Learn more at thejoint.com. At The Joint Chiropractic, you don't have to feel bad to feel better.
The Gamecock men's basketball season is almost here. Season tickets start as low as $90. For more information and to secure your season tickets today, visit thegamecockclub.com/MBB. We can't wait to see you at Colonial Life Arena this season.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
This year, Roy and Dana Finley are shaking things up at AAA Heating and Air. For the next 12 months, they're telling their customers no. Get a new system purchase with no payments and no interest for an entire year. You heard that right. Purchase a new system now and make no payments for a full 12 months. So do what I did. Call AAA Heating and Air for your free estimate and tell them Jay Phillips sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Enjoy Gamecock Football Saturday at Columbia Craft Brewing Company on Green Street. Whether the game is home or away, Columbia Craft can be your tailgate headquarters. Enjoy a tasty treat from their lineup of local food trucks with any of Columbia Craft brews. Locally owned and operated, the enthusiasm Columbia Craft drinkers have for game days is awesome. Be there each Saturday to experience a new kind of tailgating. Columbia Craft is proudly distributed throughout the Midlands by KW Beverage. To try some of the brews handcrafted in Columbia, go to kwbeverage.com and hit the product hunter to find locations. Making a difference in the lives of children and families brings a feeling of satisfaction that is unmatched. You may be just the person to help them to a brighter tomorrow. Answer the call and learn more about becoming a child welfare case manager at dss.sc.gov. There, you will find qualifications needed and information about salary and benefits available. This message is sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Social Services.
Fall is here, and with it comes all the traditional family outings like tailgating, mountain and beach adventures, and road trips to grandma's over the holidays. Wherever you go, go with great gas mileage, safety, technology, comfort, and style in a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. Right now, you'll get more for your trade than ever, and as always, you'll enjoy their no-hassle pricing, no-pressure buying experience. Honda of Columbia, your friendly family Honda dealer since 1978. Highway 378 at I-20.
Hey, this is Brian Glenn, owner of Villageria Pizza. You know your favorite Columbia pizza shop is franchising? We're excited to welcome franchise operators to our team as we grow throughout the Southeast. Ever thought you'd like to see a Villageria in your community? I'm talking to you, Lexington, Irmo, Chapin, Blakewood. Villageria Pizza has been bringing people together to community and pizza in Columbia for over 30 years. If you know someone who's ready to join a proven system and be their own boss, join our village. For more info, visit villageriapizza.com.
Got something to say?
Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line
at 803-404-6100. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 100.5 The Game in Florence. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Elijah Campbell. On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
17 minutes after 4 o'clock here on a Thursday afternoon. Happy Halloween, y'all. Welcome back into the postgame show along with Elijah Campbell. I'm Jay Phillips. Before we talk to Louie, do want to remind you the Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest is back. If the Gamecocks score a special teams touchdown this weekend, someone's going to win $800. $100 a game, game 8. No special teams TDs yet. Register right now at 1075thegame.com. Thanks to Lisa and her team, the Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest. Always a pleasure to talk to our buddy Louie Bellina. He is the midday host and program director at The Zone Sports Radio in Bryan and College Station. Again, met Louie as Radio Row neighbors back in the day. I think it was the first time, the first summer that A&M came into the league, man. I know it's been a long time now, which just makes you and me old. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic. An Aggie football team that you can get behind. An Aggie football team that actually makes sense when you see them play. So I'm doing quite fantastic.
Yeah, I bet you are. All right. Barring injury, has Connor Wegman thrown his last pass for the Aggies?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, I can't tell you he's going to start Saturday. I don't think anybody other than Coach Elko can tell you that. But Coach Elko has now demonstrated that he is going to do whatever is the right decision to win the game. I will tell you right now that Marcel Reed and running only won't win all the rest of the games on their schedule, whether that schedule is regular season plus Atlanta plus college football playoff. No, Connor Wigman has not thrown his last pass for Texas A&M. I think who he chooses, Coach Elko chooses as the starter Saturday, is a big signal for the rest of the season and the direction the Aggie offense will go.
Louis, even from an outsider's perspective, it seems like this A&M team is just significantly tougher, especially on the lines of scrimmage. I mean, about maybe equally as talented as some of the teams that Jimbo had, but for some reason, and I think it's a testament to Mike Elko, that this team just seems tougher. And I felt like they just bullied LSU on the offensive side of the ball in terms of just running the ball down their throat and just being the more physical team. Does it feel like that Mike Elko has really brought that kind of football guy mentality to this Texas A&M program that might have just been lacking over the last few years?
100%, and for those that believe in that, it's 110% too. That is the correct word is physical. He wanted to establish a physicality. Before the words wins and losses came up, he demanded that they be physical. It started when he brought in Tommy Moffitt, the strength and conditioning coach, who they brought from LSU. He'd been out from LSU a couple, but he established some legendary LSU teams. This is a program where the punter needs to be tough. Nobody gets a free pass if you're going to, wear the maroon and white. So it's demanded both sides of the ball. I mean, the running backs are more physical. The line of scrimmages are obvious. Look, A&M's had great defensive lines for a while, but I take a look at an offensive line that probably graded at an F or F minus a year ago, and they're about at an A minus. But I take a look at the linebackers. Every single unit, wide receivers, everybody is more physical. And it started strength and conditioning. And it was Elko's demand. If you're going to play for me, this is what you're going to do. Now we'll figure out where to put your feet and how to square your shoulders. But you're going to be physical. It's just don't be here, because it's the one thing he demands. And there's no doubt they upgraded the physicality. I'll tell you, LSU, it was on full display. And we'll just take the A&M defensive line matchup against LSU's offensive line, where they've got like 2 NFL tackles, right? Both their offensive tackles. First half might have been maybe a stalemate. It was a great battle between 2 elite-type units. Why did the A&M defensive line absolutely destroy LSU's offensive line in the second half? They didn't watch tape and come up with some secret and let's try this stunt. Pure physicality. They wore them down. A&M has done that in so many games that with each quarter you see the edge, and by the end of the game, they just dominate. Absolutely dominate.
Talking to Louis Bellina, Bryan College Station midday host at 1150 The Zone. Staying with that theme of physicality, but switching lines of scrimmage, Louis. South Carolina's defensive line, of course, very active, amongst the best in the country at pressuring quarterbacks, and they've got a lot of bodies up there. How do you feel like that shuffling of personnel through the course of a ball game is going to affect what A&M likes to do, which is especially just plow through people and run the football?
I can tell you from the Texas A&M side, the perspective side, that's kind of the whole conversation of the week, because A&M, you should feel good about almost all the other matchups. I think that's the reality of this game. But the South Carolina defensive line is fantastic is almost an understatement. It is one of the best in the country, maybe arguably the best. The defensive line is beyond elite level. A&M's offensive line, most improved unit from a year ago. A&M's offensive line grades at an A, maybe A minus. They're nasty. They're physical. In the run game, I would argue they're elite. Pass protection has been phenomenal until the LSU game. And in the LSU game, the pass protection was a nightmare. It was actually disastrous. I don't know if you can go against a defensive line like South Carolina and be one-dimensional. What I mean is, okay, we're just going to run. We're going to run 50 times and pass when we have to. I don't think that would work either. So you're asking the million-dollar question. A&M's offensive line is very good, to state for the record. And the 2 A&M tackles had really good games against LSU's defensive tackles. They're edge guys who are really good. South Carolina's better. So it's the matchup of the night, but I'll tell you what, with the South Carolina offense more 3-and-out prone, not staying on the field, doesn't really sustain drives, right? Will they be able to hold up? And that's the D-line for South Carolina against the physicality of A&M for 4 quarters. Why don't you guys tell me that?
If you are punting the ball 6, 7, 8 times, and one of the questions that we've asked, Louis, Elijah and I have at least, is there a point where this defense will be asked to do, the Gamecock defense, more than it is capable of? We haven't seen that yet, and I don't know where that boundary may exist. So it's a tougher question to answer, but it seems like so far, by and large, and there's a lot of different things that went into what the Ole Miss score ended up looking like. I'd say this Gamecock defense has been able to pass virtually every test. Remember, they had two pick sixes taken off the board against LSU because of penalties. So I don't know if that happens yet, especially with South Carolina coming off a bye.
A&M, the physicality you mentioned earlier, they're going to lean on you. They're going to push you. And even when you win, you're going to feel it. Like if you beat your guy, you're going to feel it. And if your offense, South Carolina, can't hold the ball, can't keep the defense off the field, there's going to be an accumulation of damage over the course of the game. Because that's how I've watched, as you know, every play, every A&M game. It's how they've won a lot of these games. They just grind you to the ground. Because both sides of the ball, they're going to beat you. They're going to just wear on you. They're going to play physical every snap.
And one thing that I've really been impressed with this year with Texas A&M is Colin Klein as the offensive coordinator. No matter who's at quarterback, kind of doing what's not, I feel like, out of the range of the quarterback's capabilities. And I think the offense, like with Marcel Reed at quarterback, gives them a lot of versatility. Because as someone who covered Marcel in high school knows, like he can uncork a deep ball if he really wants to. But how has someone like Colin Klein come in with this offense and kind of molded it into the strengths of his quarterbacks, regardless of who ends up playing in this game?
It's a testament to Colin Klein. He's won with two different quarterbacks. He has won with a run-first, running-oriented quarterback. He's won with the passing quarterback. So 100%. What's the difference between a good and a great coach? Because a lot of times good coaches take heat. The good coach knows what he knows, and that's what he coaches. The great coach takes his players and put them in the best position to win. Football 101 type stuff, I understand that. And Colin Klein's a great coach. Matter of fact, when he's hired at A&M, we always started to wonder, like, how long will he be here? He's one of those next young great coaches to be, and I'm talking about getting a head coaching job. The work he's done. Coach Elko spoke this week about how Colin Klein, they have the base offense that both the quarterbacks, my apologies, run no matter what. So it's the other part of the offense that varies based upon who's there. So they have a base offense. Because if you ran two completely different offenses, which with the two different styles of quarterback, you'd almost think to yourself. And that's kind of it sounds simple, but that's how it's worked. So that the rest of the players, the other 10 on the offense, are not learning two different offenses. They don't run two different offenses. It's the same offense. I don't know if 25% is the right number. It's just the variances off the base offense will vary based on who's in there. You mentioned Marcel Reed. Great at hitting the deep shots. His question in the passing game, though, is kind of the simpler parts of it. He started 3 games in a row when Connor was injured earlier in the year, and he could hit the plus play in the passing game. But the 10-yard pass or the intermediate was a little less accurate. And that's why I think they went back to Connor. Connor, if you take a look at his Missouri tape, that version of A&M's offense could win a national championship, but that's the only time Connor's shown it. That's why there's a quarterback, I say question mark, ponderance for Texas A&M.
Louis, last thing for you. We know about Reed. We know about Wegman. We know about Le'Veon Moss. Even Daniels is running the ball very effectively. So beyond those, all right, you cannot use those names. Give us someone that we should be focused on that can be a difference maker Saturday night.
The A&M secondary is a fascinating unit. They have open receivers. If you can find them, you can hit them. But the one thing they do, which whether you're good defense or bad defense flips games, is they're opportunistic. B.J. Mays finally got the call start, 2 picks, totally turned the game LSU. The transfers, Will Lee and Radcliffe, interceptions. So a name, I'll give you a unit in the secondary. If you're looking for a player, let's see if B.J. Mays, but watch out for Will Lee. They call him the blanket for a reason. He's the cover corner. He shuts down your best wide receiver. And the only way to get to that defense is by throwing on it. Can you get to Will Lee? Remember that name.
Good stuff as always, sir. We appreciate it. We'll check in during basketball season, I'm sure. Enjoy it all this weekend, man.
Well, are you making the trip? Yeah, well, of course you're making the trip. You're there. You're not coming here. Next year you'll make the trip down here. Be awesome, guys. It was fun.
Thanks, Louie. Appreciate you.
Later.
That's Louie Bellina. You can follow him on Twitter, learn more about what he's doing covering the Aggies. It's very simple to do that. Louie B, 1150. That's the station he works for.
Easy to remember.
That's right. Louie B, 1150. Again, known Louie a long time. Very good at what he does. All right, come back on the other side of the break. Shenanigans with helmet communications in college football. It could be. We'll get you the latest when the postgame show returns.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach. The Game Network. Hate paying for streaming? One more thing you got to stream and pay for? Well, the Game app is, wait for it, free.
It's free! It's free! It's free!
Yes, all you got to do is go to iTunes or Google Play and download the 107.5 The Game app and listen for nothing in all respects of the word. Nothing.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hostettler-Brown. Do you know the difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust? The difference could easily save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in long-term care costs. Visit lawyerlisa.com to schedule a consultation today.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Daddy, you need a trust. I'm Russell Ott. If you're like most people I talk to, you're just tired of the nonsense in politics. It's getting harder and harder to really know where candidates stand on the issues. Politicians seem to pledge their allegiance to parties rather than people. All the silly games do nothing to help families and businesses that are struggling to pay the bills. It's time to push back on politics as usual and get back to common sense solutions that work. That's how we create a stronger South Carolina. I'm Russell Ott, and I'm asking for your vote for state senate so I can get to work for you.
Paid for by Ott for Senate.
Hey, Tyler Head here, excited to tell you once again about Underdog Fantasy, the place where you can win money watching the sports that you love. Get in on their pick'em games where you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats with things like touchdowns, three-pointers, double-doubles, and more. Underdog puts the power in your hands where you can either keep riding with an entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. Do you think Derrick Henry will be over 100 rushing yards this week? Hop on Underdog and place an entry. Personally, I've got Jalen Hurts over 35.5 rush yards this week myself. You can download the app, sign up with promo code THEGAME1075, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code THEGAME1075. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line, 803-404-6100. Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic
is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
From the WIS Traffic Studios, I'm Elijah Campbell. A few accidents to get to. They're causing some issues on the roadways, starting with an accident on 26 westbound between exit 110 and 108A. That has the left lane completely blocked, so some pretty severe traffic backup over on 26 West. On I-77 southbound, just before the South Carolina 34 exit 34, there's a vehicle fire causing the right lane to be completely blocked. We have some more minor accidents, though, on Alpine Road at US 1 near 2 Notch Road, Highway 1 at Augusta Road near Clemson Road, I-26 eastbound over near exit 107B, and on Platte Springs Road at South Lake Drive.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet on the Game Network.
Just finished talking with our buddy Louis Bellina, giving us the A&M perspective ahead of Saturday night's game. He feels strongly, as you might have heard, that both lines of scrimmage units for the Aggies are much improved relative to last season. Likes what Mike Elko has done, I suppose, from a culture perspective. I know sometimes that gets a little overblown, a little overused.
It's a buzzword.
He didn't use the word. Louis didn't use the word culture. So I kind of incorporated what he was saying about how Coach Elko has just demanded greater accountability, wanted the team to be more physical. I really do. I like what Mike Elko is doing. And with all due respect, it feels like Mike Elko is a grown-up, and that sometimes maybe the last coach was just a little too petulant.
Yeah.
My opinion.
A little too petulant, maybe worried about some of the wrong things.
Yeah.
But you could just tell by the demeanors of their teams, right? Like, Mike Elko teams are up for it. Don't ask me to define that, but you can watch them on a football field, and these guys are up for the challenge.
Yeah.
At Duke. I mean, that's a hard place to win, man.
Absolutely.
And he got them in a place last year where they were competing for an ACC title.
Yeah.
That was a really good football team that he had at Duke in a place that is incredibly hard to win. You only get that way, not because you're just recruiting the best talents, because you're getting those kids to overachieve.
Yeah,
Getting them up for a challenge.
Yeah, you just nailed it. It's not. It's talent. You've got to develop and utilize your talent to a much greater level at Duke. No doubt about it, man. Because you're never going to get. I mean, look, I wouldn't ever think that Duke is going to out-recruit North Carolina even, and certainly not Clemson or Florida State or Miami, Virginia
Not even
Tech.
NC State.
Right. No, I like what Elko's doing. I think South Carolina has a huge challenge in the trenches this weekend, and passing that test, look, for either of these teams, is going to be difficult. There's no question. But anyway, we'll talk more about that for you, coming up with some more sound from the coordinators in just a little bit. In the meantime, in A&M's old conference, the Big 12, there's been some concern this week that the helmet communications between coaches and quarterbacks has been on unencrypted frequencies, and that it may have allowed those who would try to steal those. You can't say steal the signals, just intercept the communication.
Steal the wavelength.
Yeah, has been out there. Texas Tech's athletics director, Kirby Hocutt, very well respected, said he first raised this point on an AD's call amongst the Big 12 athletic directors Tuesday. He heard that the Red Raiders helmet communications were unencrypted and accessible to anyone with a scanner and then knowledge of how to locate the frequencies. Now, the Big 12 today has come out with a further statement saying that none of its games were compromised by these unencrypted frequencies. I'm reading now from a piece from Max Olson of ESPN. Let's see here. Quote, following the industry-wide concerns surrounding helmet communications, the Big 12 conducted a review of conference games and helmet communications processes to address any issues member institutions raised regarding this matter. The review showed that at no point was any Big 12 competition compromised. Yesterday, Mr. Hocutt said we have to have a game whose integrity is not questionable in any way on a Saturday afternoon. We owe it to the young men on our football team to ensure that happens, that it's a game of fair competition, and that the set of rules are enforced. You and I talked about this, and look, I'm not going to sit here and go, good for them, but we talked about it. Hey, who's operating this? Who's responsible? Because whether we like it or not, there are going to be people that will always try to gain an advantage, gain an edge, whatever word you want to say. And if somebody's savvy enough to be able to do this, then they're going to try to do it. Now, it's probably really hard, even if they're not encrypted. By the way, let me before I go any further, there's a company. There's two companies. One is called GSC. Another is called CoachCom. And apparently, GSC is providing helmet comms for all 68 Power 4 schools. So at least there's some uniformity there. I think for obvious reasons, you want to theirs might be better than yours or something. So everybody's on the same page there. And this company, GSC, does have the ability to do a software update that should alleviate this. And by the way, the SEC has spoken on this, saying we hadn't had any issues. The ACC, the Big Ten have said the same things, Elijah. But we always know people are looking for an edge. The difference is, unlike what Wild Stallions was doing at Michigan and many others who just didn't get caught because they weren't as brazen.
Which is significantly harder.
Being able to listen in, and remember, they're not going, I'm just going to use Carolina. Dowell's not going, hey, Lenoris, on this coming play, I want you to throw the ball to Mazio. Okay. They're not.
That's not. Yeah, that's not what a play call sounds like.
So they're not doing that. They're still calling the play.
Spider 2, Y banana. I tell you what, man.
Now listen, if they had it back when Cam was playing, it might have just been Cam. Whatever, man, you're good. And even the defense would go we can't stop that. But that's not what's happening. Now they're calling a play. So if you've got an opportunity to know what the plays are, how to dissect the plays, and then get that to your defense all within, 5 seconds, 10 seconds? Then, good on you, right? But, but that's not happening, and now apparently they are, for most of these schools, I would hope for all of these schools by the weekend. Some will not be playing if they have a bye week. Apparently there's a software update that should alleviate any further concerns.
You know what just absolutely reeks of this story? The NFL's had encrypted radio signals for the entirety of its existence. Well, how come you couldn't just do the same thing? Use the same software. That's broke boy behavior. You could have had it the correct way the entire time.
Well, here's the thing.
Seems like laziness.
To your point, yes. To your point, in Max's piece, here's a paragraph. The revelation that college football teams have not been using encrypted frequencies has frustrated several Big 12 athletic directors who believed the Power 4 schools had the same encrypted setup used in the NFL. So I don't know if somebody out there at this company, GSC, was telling somebody at the conference level, because this is not an NCAA issue. Remember, they don't run college football from that perspective. So this is up to you guys, if you will. Mm-hmm. That's what Indianapolis is going to say. Hey, don't call us about this. Y'all that's your problem.
You guys wanted it.
Yeah. Y'all said you're paying for it. That's you. Don't call me. But did this company tell people, oh yeah, it's just like the NFL? Because I can see that.
And then
because they want the contract.
Their mouth writing a check that their ass can't cash.
And it's like, hey, Mr. GSC president, you said that these were just like the NFL. Well, they are.
My boy Timmy in a white van across the street just, listened in on Baylor's game plan. Yeah.
Holding one of those those radio things, stealing the signal. That's my hunch, right? Is that, oh, yeah, that's just like the NFL. Yeah, you're good. Because it is just like the NFL in the sense that the coach can speak to the quarterback, or that the DC or whomever can speak to a linebacker or a free safety or whoever is going to, I don't care who's getting it.
Might have excluded one small detail.
Yeah, and it's perfectly safe, right?
Yeah, it's perfectly with the right equipment.
It's perfectly safe. It's perfectly safe. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. And then you find out, well, it's not encrypted. Well, I mean, you didn't say you wanted it just like the NFL. Actually, we did.
Actually, that's what you said.
Yeah, and it's what you said. So
you missed out one minor detail.
I don't know. It doesn't say here, and I haven't had time to look it up, to be honest with you. Now I'm kind of mad at myself.
Yeah, Bill Belichick would have had the playbook for every single team by now. Goodness gracious.
Dude, if Bill Belichick he'd have done it in like semaphore code with those flags. You know, like
he would have had somebody outside in a white van of every stadium encrypting each play call, diagramming it.
I don't know the company that does it for the NFL. It doesn't say here that it's the same company, GSC, or again this CoachCom. But I'm wondering if they're like really mad at these people and be like, you know what, y'all are out. I don't know.
I would entertain it.
Hey, you want to go to the A&M game? We got a second pair of tickets to give you, 803-404-6100. We'll do caller 4 this time. Did caller 5 last time, so caller 4, 803-404-6100. Elijah will hook you up with a pair of tickets to Carolina A&M Saturday night. We'll be right back.
107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach. The Game Network.
It's back! The Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest. Just go to 1075thegame.com and register. The pot starts at $100. Every week it increases $100 if Carolina doesn't score a special teams touchdown. But if the Gamecocks do score a special teams touchdown, you could win the pool. Again, just go to 1075thegame.com and register. It's the Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest from 1075 The Game.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute. How about Shohei winning the damn World Series in his first shot as a Dodger after 0 postseason games in 6 years down the road at the Big L? And how about the fact that the Dodgers did it with essentially no help at all from Shohei? They didn't even need this guy's help in the World Series. I'm Jim Rome.
Hey, sports fans, if you're not calling John Anthony, you're simply missing out. To prove it, I'm releasing your Thursday night report absolutely free on recorded message line. 1-800-244-5506. Houston at New York tonight is going to be a monster game, and I've got the side and total. Houston, New York, confirmed analysis, plus pro hoops and college football. That's 5 big plays. John Anthony has you covered. I love to sweep the board. Call now. Hear him for free on my recorded message. 1-800-244-5506. Information wins. John Anthony Sports, number 1 against the spread. 1-800-244-5506. You want the information? I've got it. Houston, New York, plus college football, pro hoops, and special prop action. I love to go 5-0 the season free. John Anthony Sports, number 1 against the spread. 1-800-244-5506. That's 1-800-244-5506. Or go to johnanthonysports.com.
Sponsored by JFSR Group. It's your broker, Benji Getzy. 6 straight weeks of declining rates. Now is the time. V8 30-year fixed, 4.8%, APR 5.2. 30-year conventional, 5.5%, APR 5.8. Second home investors, 6.4%. DSCR and fix and flip financing, 6.9%, APR 7.3. So visit Buford.mortgage for the fastest rate quotes in the industry, available 24/7. Thanks for shopping your rate with Buford Lending. We want to be your broker.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-568-2790. 800-568-2790 or biglou.com.
Since 1963, Takeuchi has been a pioneer in the compact construction industry, having developed the world's first compact excavator in 1971 and the world's first compact rubber track loader in 1986. Takeuchi continues to revolutionize the industry through innovative technology and listening to customer needs. Now you can partner with a truly global leader by contacting TEC Rental Equipment in West Columbia, Orangeburg, and Somerville. From world first to world leader, Takeuchi.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Elijah Campbell. On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Welcome back into the post-game show. Jay and Elijah with you. Coming up top of the hour, headlines of the day. Got some Braves news to get you, plus more from what's going on around Gamecock football. Extended look at Gamecock football coming up next hour as well. And our drive around the SEC. Should we have had some Halloween music today? Something? You want to play like scary songs or like, something next hour? I don't know.
I can play some really eerie music, just any Tiny Tim song imaginable. If you've ever seen the movie Insidious. Yeah. Freaky in that context.
There's a difference in like disturbing and scary. I don't want to be.
I'm here for disturbed.
Yeah, I don't want to be disturbed.
I'm here to disturb you.
Not in that way,
I'm here to disturb you.
If you wake me up from a nap, that kind of disturbance is probably okay. But the kind of disturbance that stays with you a while,
Yeah.
I was about to make a joke at the expense of our good friend Dave, but I'm not going to do
that. And I have an idea where it was going to go.
So, but maybe we should do a little something.
We can.
There was a debate earlier. I guess some people. What is it? I don't know. Maybe I'm just not hip with the scene.
The fact that you referred to it as hip with the scene tells me that you are not. You're indeed not. And I air quote hip with the scene.
Thank you. But is there like a debate once again over whether people like candy corn or not?
Most overplayed discussion.
I mean,
candy corn's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. It's just the thing is it's a piece of sugar with some color in it.
Yeah.
But
see, people talk about that being bad candy all the time. It's not. It's fine.
You know what I think?
Whatever. But we don't drag the circus peanuts enough.
Well,
I think we should replace it.
Or again, like if you like an original Tootsie Roll, like good on you. Any of the other things that the Tootsie Roll people make, I don't even know why they've done it.
Like the different colored, like little pieces of candy that are like fruit flavored.
Yeah, like it's weird. Like I remember when I was little, I don't know, probably single digit age. And like, I guess I saw the wrapper, like you see the logo, right, for Tootsie Roll. And you're all excited and, you're already sugar rushing. And you get that out of your pumpkin or whatever it was that I carried, depending on the year, right? And I'm like, oh, Tootsie Roll. I'm like, cool, all right. I have one of those. I've already had whatever. And it's like, it's not Tootsie Roll. Something's wrong with it. Like it's that. And it's like, then like my mom would be like, well, that's an orange one. I'm like, orange? What is an orange? I mean,
why make one?
Even when I'm like 8, I'm going like, what the hell's an orange Tootsie Roll, Mom?
Why?
And then I got soap. No, I would never have done that to my mother.
You would never have gotten.
No, I would never cuss in front of my mom. I cussed in front of my mom. I didn't even mean to. Like, it wasn't at her. Like when I was in college,
just in front of her.
Just like, you know how sometimes when you just like, oh, bleep.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time again, I'm in college or something, right? And my mom was like, because my mom never cussed. I mean, if my mom cussed, like she was either mad at you or at something in the world. Because my mom never got mad.
And there'll be hell to pay.
Yeah, but but anyway. But coming back around, like, those things just, yeah. So, but candy corn is fine. Candy corn, basically, to me, is just a hardened version. Like, the Pillsbury cinnamon rolls, like with the icing?
Yes.
The white icing that stuff's delicious, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's the same.
That's the version. Yeah, no,
that's
you're
what
right.
candy corn is.
Correct.
If you put candy corn in the pot on your stove, if it wasn't yellow and orange with the white, if it was just the white and melted it, you put that on cinnamon rolls, you'd be like, oh, this is delicious.
Yeah.
But, I don't.
It gets a bad rap.
Yeah, I don't get the candy corn thing.
Yeah, the hate. I said we just, as a country, right? We should just channel that energy of picking on candy corn and just direct it towards circus peanuts.
I will tell you this, and here's something weird.
That deserves the slander.
Yes, that's fair. So like there's two kinds of candy corn, right? It's the same shape, the little cone, but some of them are orange. Most of them are orange, yellow, white, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's some of them, for whatever reason, that have a strip of brown instead. You ever seen those?
I have not.
And
I'm actually really confused as to what you're alluding to. Now I'm really concerned about what it is
It's not chocolate. It's just brown. I'm like, well, why y'all want to do it that way?
Now I'm really concerned about what you've been consuming.
No. Trust me on this. Is not. This is legit.
You good?
This is legit. But I don't know why they do that. Just make it the same kind. It's fine.
That sounds deceptive.
Well, it could be. I don't know.
And unintentional.
But I don't want to eat that kind. So there you go. But I am going to go, if my wife hasn't already done it, I'm going to go get a big bag of like Reese's Cups or something.
Reese's Cups is the way to go.
And then I'm going to tell all the kids.
Sick off of it.
I'm just sitting there eating them while I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, kids. I'm out.
Ate it all.
My bad. Hour 3 coming up.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Together, let's drive.
Sponsored by Think It Up. Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hostetler Brown. If you or a loved one are over 65 and haven't completed a long-term care planning consultation, now is the time. Did you know that if you aren't able to afford the high cost of skilled care, your assets can be rapidly depleted to only $2,000 unless you plan 5 years in advance? Visit lawyerlisa.com to see how we can help.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevy, where the winning is only beginning. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive. Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
We are so excited. Sound and Images has upgraded to a phenomenal facility at 807 Bluff Road, right there across the street from our friends at the State Fair. We have new upgraded facilities, video conferencing room experience that will seat up to 35 people depending on configuration. We also have meeting space and venue space on property to offer our partners at Sound and Images. Please contact Sound and Images at soundandimages.net, your commercial AV installation and live event production specialists.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic
is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
From the WIS Traffic Studios, I'm Elijah Campbell. The few accidents to get to that are causing some issues on the roadways. We do have 2 accidents that have been cleared. We were having some issues on 20 westbound at Faro Road near exit 72. That's been cleared. So is the one on 26 westbound between exit 110 and exit 108A. Still some active accidents causing some active traffic backups, including a vehicle fire that has the right lane completely blocked on 77 southbound just before exit 34. Some more minor accidents include one on Alpine Road at US 1 and 2 Notch Road, Highway 1 at Augusta Road near Clemson Road, I-26 eastbound near exit 107B, Laurel Street near Gadsden Street, Platte Springs Road at South Lake Drive, and lastly one on Trotter Road at Garner's Ferry Road.
WNKT FM Eastover, Columbia.
Congrats to the Gamecocks women on another national championship.
A Cumulus media station.
It's time to check out what up in the world of sports.
This just in, breaking news is breaking out everywhere.
The 5 o'clock news.
The Postgame Show.
If you're just joining us, I'm covering some breaking news. You know news is breaking because I'm telling you so, and I might touch my earpiece like this.
5 o'clock news, sponsored by Integrated Media.
Columbia's premier home theater and security experts for over 20 years.
It is 5 o'clock news time on this Halloween Thursday. Welcome back in. It's also the final hour of the post-game show along with Elijah Campbell. I'm Jay Phillips. Thank you so much for being with us. Busy afternoon talking a lot of Carolina football. We will continue that for you right now as coordinators have spoken ahead of Saturday night's ball game with A&M. Aggies coming to Columbia remain a 2.5-point favorite. At this point, you're not really sure which quarterback is going to play for A&M. Maybe both of them will. We had our buddy Louis Bellina on in the last hour, and Elijah and I did ask him, hey, has Connor Wickman thrown his last pass? He said, no, not as of yet. So with that, Clayton White has been asked, what's it like preparing for two different styles of quarterback?
A good one. Obviously, it definitely helps for sure. It's not your first time going against a mobile quarterback, so some of your things, some of your tools that you put in your toolbox for those kind of quarterbacks is already in there. They've already been, used. They're not tools that you have to kind of, open the pack and then they're rusty and all that kind of stuff. So that's always good to have those things already oiled up and ready to go. We call it bank reps. So they're sitting in the bank. We've been using it, and we just got to keep using them. And then it's definitely, you have to make sure that you're practicing it well and your quarterback's giving you a good look, and because it can surprise you on the game day if you don't work it and you don't go against it. Like I said, it really helps that we have Lenoris and Robbie. So when we go good on good against our offense, we're getting those same exact feel that we would get on a Saturday against a mobile quarterback.
And again, I want to make too much of this. As we said, the perception, I do think a lot of people, yes, look, Reed played against Florida and in a non-con game as well.
Bowling Green, I believe, might have been the one that he
But you, Elijah, as we talked about, and I was so happy that you were able to bring this insight to us, covered him in high school when you were working in Nashville, where he's from. And the belief may be for those who maybe finally saw him in a huge game, which the LSU game was. Florida probably should have been, but it wasn't. But the LSU game was, as the two undefeated teams left in the SEC met Saturday night. That kid just, all he can do is run because he only threw twice. Not the case.
Nope. He does. He has a wicked deep ball, and Louis confirmed that as well. And if you watch the LSU game, he did complete one of those two passes he completed was for 54 yards down the field. And one thing that's going to help him a lot, and one player that I wanted to ask Louis about, but obviously we only get so much time in these things to get to talk about these teams, is I think Noah Thomas might be the offensive X factor for A&M, and I think that's the assignment that O'Donnell Fortune's going to draw because he's a 6'6" receiver who's got, a wingspan that would make Buzz Williams drool and try to get him to be a small forward on the basketball team over at College Station. And he's wins all the jump balls, man. Like, the guy's a freak athlete on the perimeter, and that's a really good combination for A&M, is to have someone who can throw the deep ball really well with a big target. Might struggle in the intermediate, yeah, and that's, that can be where Marcel Reed will struggle a bit, but there is a little bit of a misnomer that he's just a running quarterback. Now,
Right.
the thing is with him is he got better with his mobility once he got to college. He's always had that deep ball. I think the element of him making guys miss in the open field is something he just did not have as much in high school. That has been part of his development.
Didn't need
in his
to,
2
right?
years. Yeah, just didn't need to.
Yeah.
They just put, of course, at NBA, he had an offensive line of some massive dudes who kept that pocket pretty clean for a lot of the time. He never had to break it, and he could just pick teams apart down the field. And at the high school level, a little easier for you to do that, but he had the arm talent to be able to do it. And now, He's shown that he can scramble a little bit, and he did put that move on that Florida player that Shane alluded to at the presser on Tuesday, where, I mean, the Florida player didn't just touch grass, he ate it, like it was quite the ankle breaking. So there's a lot of versatility to Marcel Reed's game, which is why I feel like you'll see him maybe the entirety of the game. And you look at the numbers too, you went through them the other day. They are better than Connor Wegman throughout the season, even just by virtue of Connor Wegman throwing more picks than touchdowns and Marcel Reed having 6 touchdowns and no interceptions. Right. Even if you just don't watch the tape, you can say, oh, I like that production better than the other guy. I just have a really good feeling you're going to see more Marcel Reed unless South Carolina forces some turnovers and goes up a few scores. And they feel like they need to get some juice again.
If you can do to Reed what LSU did to make Wegman just not effective, then perhaps you just have to make some kind of change to try and spur the offense along if you're Mike Elko. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Meantime, the Gamecocks are going up against a much-improved A&M defense. Here's Dowell Loggins on what he thinks they're going to see Saturday night.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's figured it out yet because LSU's got 2 first-round tackles, and they struggled against this team. It's a really good team. It's really, really talented. You got to make sure that you maximize your strengths and minimize your weaknesses, and make sure that everyone has a plan to handle the details of the assignments. And you got to, the bye week you do a little bit in Texas A&M, but not a ton because you're really working against your own defense, and it's more good on good than it is when you practice. You're not ahead that way, but when you dive into the plan, making sure that you're doing the things that your guys do well and the things that you struggle with, you're trying to take out, because this is a good team that can attack, and they're going to cause stress like they have for last 8 weeks in this league.
That's the biggest thing, causing the stress, and it seems that that's more than any other spot where Lenoris Sellers has seen his struggles. If something is coming up that directly impacts what he's wanting to do, and again, as he learns the game, as the game slows down for him, those things you seem to believe will be lessened. But if I'm A&M, I'm coming right after him. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he's been prone to turnovers in certain situations, and I'm going to do all I can if I'm Mike Elko, especially as a defensive-minded guy, to create those situations, to create that havoc, and to make Lenoris beat you. It's that simple.
We talked yesterday, right? We were talking yesterday about, when you're watching A&M's defense against opposing offenses this year, which one might mostly mirror South Carolina's. And we kind of settled on Arkansas just because of the quarterback. Jaquindon Jackson's a really good running back. That team thrives on the run. They have a mobile quarterback in Taylon Green. And so, I went back and looked because I was really curious about something. How much did A&M try to pressure? How much did they bring blitzes against that type of quarterback? And how successful were they at creating pressures? Arkansas's offensive line's a little better than South Carolina's. I mean, they're not winning the Joe Moore Award by any means, but it's a little better. A&M blitzed 28% of the time. Would you like to guess what percentage of dropbacks they were able to get pressure on Taylon Green? On 28% blitz rate.
28% blitz rate, the percentage of dropbacks they got him?
Pressures, yeah. How many percent?
Percentage
that Taylon Green was under pressure?
Half?
Almost 45.
Okay.
They didn't have to blitz much to get pressure on Arkansas. Part of me is really curious to see and try to track this early in the game, how often A&M is bringing extra guys at the early beginning. Are they going to try to test? I mean, by watching this offensive line and seeing exactly how some teams have been able to get to Lenoris pretty easy, how far into the game before they start sending 5 or 6 or whatever it is, before you start sending an extra player, or you start trying to disguise your blitzes, right? How far into the game will be, or do you do that from just the onset, from the get-go? Because, I mean, Taylon Green, in terms of play style, being able to kill you with his legs and at least, be able to throw a deep ball if needed. Taylon Green does have a pretty wicked arm, but I thought that was really interesting that they were able to not blitz a ton and get plenty of pressure on a really mobile quarterback.
We'll talk a lot more about it tomorrow, especially with Langston. But look, to your question of when do you do something like that, one of the things I'm looking at for this game is that A&M will want to do exactly what happened in the Ole Miss game, but do it to South Carolina rather than South Carolina do it to themselves, and that is take that crowd out of the game. And you need to do it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
There's no question.
It's going to be a rocket.
That's got to be strategy number one, is take that crowd out of the game as quickly as possible, because that's gonna matter for the Gamecocks. More football stuff coming up for you in just a second. South Carolina last night, 86-60 winners over the College of Worcester, Coach Parris's alma mater, over at Colonial Life Arena. An exhibition game. South Carolina led by Colin Murray Boyles, who had a double-double with 19 and 11. Cam Scott came off the bench and played very well, as did Arden Conyers, another local product. Here's Lamont Paris on what he saw overall last night.
A productive game for us. You get in these games, and ultimately, here's what you would like to have happen. You get tested in this area or that area. You get a chance to see what some unknown commodities look like when they get out there. Some of them under the lights for the first time. You want to play a team that competes. You want to play someone that's good. Honestly, I don't like doing it if the team's not good, and they were good. They have a good team. I'm looking forward to following them this season and see how they finish. I'm really excited about that, actually, because I think they have a really good team. So I think it was really good for us, very valuable for us. It's going to be a really good film session for on Friday. We're off tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to some of the messages that we'll be able to send. We had some young guys that really went in there and performed, and that was really exciting to see them take that moment and grab the bull by the horns and go out there and perform well. So very, very successful exhibition game in that it provided us everything that we could have hoped for.
Carolina had a lot of guys go double figures last night, which is, they cleared the bench. Much of guys played at least 10 minutes. You're not going to see that during the normal course of the season. Carolina, 4 of their first 5 regular season games will be here in Columbia. The lone exception will be their game 2 weeks from Saturday up in Bloomington against the Hoosiers, which is a big deal to go to Assembly Hall and play a regular season game. So that'll be kind of cool. By the way, on Worcester, yes, they're a Division III school, but they've been to the NCAA tournament at the D3 level 18 consecutive seasons. And while Lamont was there, which was more than 18 seasons ago, he's just a little bit younger than me. They went 3 out of 4, and they won 2 conference titles while he was there. It's a proud basketball tradition at that college, and you expected them to win, and they won comfortably. And as Lamont said, if they could have done some other things, and you were there last night, Elijah, they could have probably done to this school what Dawn's team did to Clayton State.
Easily.
But you're not going to do that because, as you pointed out, too, you want to kind of just see what some guys can do, and that may mean that flaws are also exposed.
Yeah, test yourself a little bit because, there were a couple plays where there was, a Colin Murray Boyles post up, which nobody on that Worcester roster would be able to guard Colin Murray Boyles one-on-one, and you don't want to double team him because Colin is such a great passer. He will find the open guy. So they could have just posted him up each possession and they would have scored 110 points, right? There would have been no stopping him. And Lamont kind of alluded to that after the game. But there are some fair takeaways, and I think some of the fair takeaways where, he alludes to watching or what the film session is going to look like on Friday. It won't be kind to some players on the defensive end. I thought there was some breakdowns, whether it be on-ball defense. The energy might not have been there to stay in front of your man and keep them from going to the basket. That happened a few times. There was also a few times where help defenders got caught ball watching and a backdoor cut is made, pass is made, layup. Worcester shouldn't be getting 18 layup attempts in a game like that, right? That's the type of effort or lethargic defensive effort that even in a game like that, in an exhibition game that doesn't count, will show up on tape and will make for some slightly uncomfortable moments in a film watching session. But offensively, I think you saw them experiment a lot with maybe some lineups. I think it's one of the reasons why Jamari didn't play more than 14 minutes last night. I think they tried a lot, especially when it comes to maybe not set. I feel like they did settle for a lot of threes in the first half. Now look, they shot 3 more threes and they did 2s. And I was on Jack Veltrick's show on Gamecock Central today on his live stream. And I said, look, that's not going to happen all season long. Only 4 teams in college basketball shot more threes than twos. And the only one that was the only Power 4 team, and that was BYU.
Right.
So that's not going to be something they're going to be doing this year. But I do think part of it was there was a little bit of, hey, how are we going to get our 3-point looks this year? A lot of maybe trying to drive and kick. And that's how Lamont last year really focused on them getting their threes. I think there's a fair question mark of how you're going to be able to have guys that can create shots for others. I think there's still a void in shot creation that might have shown itself a little bit last night for others, but we'll see for real when they play North Florida. North Florida is not a juggernaut by any means, but they are at least offensively adequate to pressure you a little bit.
That's our integrated media headlines of the day, 803-948-8327 for all your home theater needs, home security needs. They're very good at that, too, and so much more. Call my good friends at Integrated Media. More Gamecock football. I do have a Braves news note to get to as well on the other side, plus more Gamecocks. Coming up.
The Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
The Game TV. 107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Together, let's drive.
This report is sponsored by Palmetto Cards and Collectibles in Lexington. Palmetto Cards and Collectibles in Lexington is your go-to shop for all your trading card needs. Join Palmetto Cards and Collectibles at the South Carolina Card Show, December 13th through 15th at the SC State Fairgrounds. Details at palmettocards.com.
Sponsored by Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org.
Fall is here, and with it comes all the traditional family outings like tailgating, mountain and beach adventures, and road trips to grandma's over the holidays. Wherever you go, go with great gas mileage, safety, technology, comfort, and style in a new Honda from Honda of Columbia. Right now, you'll get more for your trade than ever, and as always, you'll enjoy their no-hassle pricing, no-pressure buying experience. Honda of Columbia, your friendly family Honda dealer since 1978. Highway 378 at I-20.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra, the rock holiday tradition returns. December 12th, Colonial Life Arena, Columbia. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Bring the whole family to the all-new show. Soaring guitars, dazzling lasers, and enough pyro to keep you warm all season. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestra, presented by Live Nation.
Hey, this is Paul Romanstein, proud owner of Midlands Landscape and Lawns. Here today with my 2 sons.
Hey, I'm Blake Romanstein. Midlands Landscape and Lawns is a family-owned business rooted right here in the Midlands for over 30 years.
And I'm Braden Romanstein. We're not just local, we're your neighbors, and we're going to take care of you like you live next door.
From residential landscaping to hardscape design and installation to maintenance and everything in between. Call or visit Midlands Landscape and Lawns today at midlandslandscape.com.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
Were your gutters damaged or clogged during the recent storms? The Gutterman will not only clear out your gutters, but also ensure that everything is working optimally. Protect your biggest investment. Call the guys in the powder blue trucks, the Guttermen, at 803-791-7147.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
The Gamecock men's basketball season is almost here, and we need you to help us pack Colonial Life Arena all season long. Season tickets are on sale now and start as low as $90. That's less than $6 per game to see 2024 SEC Coach of the Year Lamont Parrish try and get back to the NCAA tournament for the 2nd year in a row. For more information and to secure your season tickets, visit thegamecockclub.com/MBB today. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hosteller Brown. Do you know the difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust? The difference could easily save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in long-term care costs. Visit LawyerLisa.com to schedule a consultation today.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Daddy, you need a trust.
AAA Heating and Air is on the hunt to find the oldest AC unit in our Midland service area. Do you think it could be yours? If you do, it could pay off. AAA Heating and Air and My Oldest AC contest is kicking off, and you have a chance to win a new HVAC system for your home. Just head over to their website, myoldAir.com, and complete the online entry form. AAA Heating and Air will draw a winner at random for every 100 entries. It really is that easy. Contest is limited time only. Residents in the AAA Heating and Air service area are eligible to enter. See the terms and rules on their website for a full list of contest rules.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Elijah Campbell. On your home of the Gamecocks. In Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Hey, we didn't have a nickname before. We don't want a nickname now, so we straight. I promise you. I appreciate it. I think I got a couple little things about that. Somebody hit me up, but we didn't have a nickname before. I appreciate it. You know, I think I'm good, so you guys can have your own nickname. But we Gamecock defense. That's our nickname. The Gamecock.
I love it. Don't put that on me. That's what it sounds like, right? That's Clayton White. Shane mentioned this, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. I guess there's a potential nickname for this defense.
I think the Carolina Reaper is the one that was brought up to Shane on Tuesday.
I think Clayton's basically saying, look, we're pretty good at what we're doing here. You know, naming it now doesn't really help the cause. I like that. We're the Gamecock defense. That's good. That. Amen, Coach. Before we talk more Carolina football, I do have one more bit of news. So we'll kind of extend the integrated media headlines of the day. Now that the World Series is over, teams can begin to transact business once again, personnel-wise.
Do a little business.
And the Atlanta Braves, basically the first ones right out of the chute, they have traded folk hero Jorge Soler to the Angels for right-handed starting pitcher Griffin Canning today. Soler is still due $32 million. And quite honestly, with Acuna coming back and Marcell Ozuna making what he makes and the kind of season that Marcell had relative to the season Jorge had, Atlanta is not going to pay him to be, that kind of luxury bench utility guy.
Yeah.
So
no need for him now.
Instead, they get, I say
double
young,
grand piano.
but they get Griffin Canning, a former second-round pick. Let's see. He started 31 games last season, had a 5.19, 171 and 2/3 innings pitched, Elijah. But he
got a lot of use.
I got to make sure this is right. 130 walks, 66 strikeouts.
Whoa, that almost
I hope
does not
those numbers.
That sounds like a typo.
Let me see if those numbers are reversed real quick.
Or they're reversed. Either way, I would not trade for somebody.
Hang on,
I'm not a baseball GM, but I don't think I would trade for somebody if that was the number.
Let's see, ERA 5.19. I'm looking now at his stat sheet. Yes, those numbers were reversed. 130 strikeouts, 66 walks. Thank God.
I about saw the moment your heart got ripped into.
That's like that can't be.
You and me almost.
You don't keep your job, and you don't keep your job as a big league pitcher if your strikeout to walk ratio is 1-2.
No, I mean that's Rick Ankiel pitching business right there.
But luckily, his strikeout. It's not. I mean, 2-1 is not great.
Not ideal. No,
but it's certainly better than 1-2.
The trade was for an arm.
Yes,
they got an arm.
But
congratulations, Braves.
But I couldn't tell you at this point. It makes it sound like the Braves have picked up a fifth starter. Like this is going to be. They're not giving up on Max Fried. I wouldn't think yet.
shouldn't give up on him. I don't think they're going to be able to keep him.
I don't think they're going to be able to either, but I do think they're going to make him an attractive offer. I just think it's going to be, unfortunately, Braves fans, myself included, going to be an offer very similar to what the Braves did with Dansby Swanson and Freddie Freeman, who were their last two huge free agents that got away.
They don't want to give that year.
With Freddie, you matched the annual number the Dodgers offered. The Dodgers gave Freddie an additional season.
Yeah.
With Dansby, you offered Dansby $100 million, 5 years, 20 per. The Cubs did 5 years, 25 per. So each guy, Freddie and Dansby, both ended up getting about an additional $25 million from their respective new ball clubs. My gut for now says that Canning is going to be coming in as a Charlie Morton replacement.
Yeah.
But things could shift. And, of course, the Braves do have some guys like Ian Anderson and Bryce Elder that they still believe in as starters.
Schwellenbach, I thought, pitched really well
I thought he did too, yeah. But, I don't want him to go down the Elder road where Elder makes an all-star game and then forgets where the strike zone is and hadn't found it since.
I think it's just a sophomore slump type deal. Could be. Elder. I mean, the guy has really good stuff. I'm not out on him yet.
But so there you go, Braves fans. Jorge Soler, I kind of figured they wouldn't keep Jorge. He makes a lot of money. He's good, man. He's a good baseball player. He's not great, but he's a good middle of the order guy, and obviously he can hit the ball to the moon. But at $16 million a season with what the Braves do, and I think the Braves are going to try to utilize as much cash as they can for pitching. Again, whether that's keeping Max or replacing Max. And either way, you're going to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's the nature of the beast because there's only so many premium left-handed starting pitchers available to you.
Well, that's why they're so expensive.
Yes.
It's because the demand is pretty high and the supply is pretty low.
I hope they keep him. I genuinely hope they keep Max Fried.
That'd be huge. That's almost an acquisition in itself.
It is.
Even though you're not getting a new player, the fact that you would be able to keep him would be one of those things that's an off-season win.
Teams can sign they have basically the way the CBA works in Major League Baseball, teams can sign their pending free agents exclusively until I believe it's next Tuesday. Don't quote me on that, but it's like a week after. So I don't know, but you have a window of nearly a week after the World Series, and then it's unrestricted. And believe me, unless the Braves just dazzle Max Fried, hey, we're going to pay you $50 million a year. Max is going to take that, I promise. But they're not going to do that. And so I don't know what the offer is. I imagine they've put it down in front of his agent at some point to say, all right, what do you think? What 30? Probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of what the market value would be, or like a comparable pitcher.
What's Sale making? Because I can't, and I don't know off the top of my head. I should know this, and I do. But
they got Sale at a discount. I mean,
they got Sale.
They got him in the bargain bin.
Well, yeah, they don't have to pay him as much. I guess the Sox are taking up some of his, right?
But that would be a relative comp, I guess, just because left-handed pitcher with success. I mean, he doesn't have Chris Sale's track record, which probably is baked into the number that he signed to.
I'm thinking Max is, no pun intended, in the $30 million ballpark.
Huh. That sounds about right.
That's what I would think. And if you threw some incentives in there, you could maybe get him for a little bit less and hope he hits the marks, right? 150 innings, 200 innings, 150 strikeouts, blah, blah, blah. ERA under 4. There's that. ERA under 3. Here's another million.
Complete ton of incentives in there.
Yeah. I'd like that anyway if I was a player, but that's just it. They don't want to. Like, why don't you just pay me a lot?
Yeah, I mean, can't blame them.
No, you can't blame them.
I would like to suck at my job and still get paid.
Here we go. I looked at it real quick. Teams can re-sign free agents between now and 5 p.m. Monday. That's when they call it the quiet period ends, and then unrestricted free agency begins. You can see baseball has a nice term, quiet period. In the NFL, it's, what is it?
Legal tampering.
Legal tampering.
Which is
an oxymoron.
It's not a thing.
No, it's not an oxymoron.
A thing. The word tampering insinuates some sinister doing here. Like, this is not a thing. It's so annoying.
There you go. So once
Words
again,
mean something.
Braves trading, as I said, folk hero Jorge Soler.
He is a folk hero.
Whose home run in the World Series has still not landed.
A double grand piano in the outfield.
That's right. For Garrett Canning, 28-year-old.
Garrett or Griffin?
Griffin Canning, sorry. 28-year-old right-hander for the Angels. Now the Braves. All right, come back on the other side. Drive around the SEC, get you ready for this weekend's games, and more sound from Clayton and Dow as the postgame show continues.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach. The Game Network.
Hey, this is Terry Ford, 107.5 The Game. We just want to invite you to a real special event coming up at the Dillon Columbia Supply Company. It's their fall open house, November 7th, noon to 2 p.m. It's your chance to meet their incredible team, check out their products and services, and get exclusive event day specials. Whether you're in the industrial, construction, steel, or safety business, they've got the tools and supplies you need. Again, Thursday, November 7th, noon to 2 at Dillon Columbia Supply Company, 320 Orchard Drive, West Columbia.
Cato's Power Equipment, some of my favorite people to talk about because I do like doing yard work, but I also want to do yard work efficiently, more quickly, right? Get back to the fun things when I've got some time off. And Ben and Matt and the crew ready to help you out. Listen, I don't have time right now to list a bunch of them, but there are so many products that Cato's Power Equipment can rent to you now, whether you are on the personal side of things or the professional side of things when it comes to landscaping, including the like zero-turn mowers that you can ride back behind, like it's stand on, like you feel like you're in Star Wars or something. Pretty cool. Again, pretty much anything these days, especially a lot of battery-powered equipment. See what that's all about. Again, I'm pretty much in the market for a new chainsaw now, so I'm going to go be doing that pretty soon. Blowers for this time of year to get the straw and leaves out of the yard. Bags for the lawnmower to bag it all up, turn it into mulch. See them at 4012 West Beltline Boulevard and always online, catospowerequipment.com.
If you have IRS tax problems, it can seem like a vicious cycle that never ends, year after year. Just getting the mail can be stressful and overwhelming. Don't let it ruin your life. There is a solution. Since 2008, the attorneys at Ecton Law Firm have devoted their practice to the resolution of tax problems for individuals and businesses across the Carolinas. We have the knowledge and experience and are dedicated to the success of each client. We are local attorneys with local solutions. At the free initial consultation, we'll listen to your concerns, your goals, and explain the systematic process we use in solving your tax problem. From that initial meeting, you'll see there is a solution. We're dedicated to improving your life by solving your tax problems. If we sound like someone you want to work with, take that first step. Give us a call at 803-771-9800 or go to ectonlawfirm.com. You'll be glad you did.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal right now. Get up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Yes, you heard that right. Up to $20,000 off. Don't wait. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Chevy, together let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
A lot of land comes with a lot of work. The new Kubota MX series has a lot to offer, including the versatility to mow, move hay bales, grade roads, and clear brush and snow. An optional spacious cab to keep you comfortable in any conditions. A front-end loader with excellent loader lift capacity, transmission options, and rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Visit your local Kubota dealer today.
Stop by Pioneer Farm Equipment in Orangeburg, 1 mile off of I-26 exit 154B, or at pioneerfarmsc.com.
Got something to say? Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line at 803-404-6100. 107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic
is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
From the WIS Traffic Studios, I'm Elijah Campbell with a few accidents to get to you that are causing some issues on the roadways. We'll start with a pretty big one over on 77 southbound. A vehicle fire has the right lane completely blocked just before exit 34, so pretty significant traffic backup there. Some more minor backups include some wrecks over on Clemson Road at Summit Parkway, Decker Boulevard at Brookfield Road, Highway 6 at US 378 and Columbia Avenue. One on I-77 northbound at the Blythewood Road exit 27. Juniper Springs Road at Pond Branch Road. Laurel Street near Gadsden Street. Spear Creek Church Road near Jacobs Mill Pond Road. And Trotter Road at Garner's Ferry.
Time for our drive around the SEC.
As they say in the Bayou, laissez la bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. LSU sits on the throne of college football.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Elijah Campbell. Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
It is Drive Around the SEC time on this Halloween Thursday. Welcome back into the postgame show. Jay and Elijah with you. It's not a trick. It's a treat. The brand new craft beer card is back.
Oh, that's definitely a treat.
And now, here's an extra treat. It's only $59, right? I mean, what's being lowered in costs these days for something fantastic? The answer
is the treatiest of treats.
This is it.
Yeah.
You're saving around $300 on these beers all around town. It's fun, all right? And do it responsibly, because that's even more fun.
Yeah.
Go to 1075thegame.com, click on Sweet Deals.
Sweels.
And get the brand new. They even put it in all caps right here on the paper. Brand new.
Spanking new. I do reserve the right, though, if you do not use it responsibly, I will confiscate it, and then I will use the rest of it.
Responsibly. There you go.
Yes.
Good stuff. All right.
The
only college football game tonight. I know we're doing Drive Around the SEC. Tulane is at Charlotte.
That's it. Yeah, I forgot. That was what was tonight.
I think, would I rather watch that than the Jets?
Yes, because Tulane is actually good at football.
Yeah, if Tulane wins, they get bowl eligible.
Good for them.
But they should keep winning beyond that.
They should, because group of 5 spot in the college football playoff, perhaps.
Boise's got who tomorrow?
Boise has San Diego State
that's
tomorrow
a
at
decent
home.
Game.
San Diego State, decent defense, so they might keep Ashton Jeanty under 200.
The Florida-Georgia spread has gone down, but Florida is down a couple of players, huh?
Yeah,
that's
Florida's. The Eugene Wilson rule out to me is probably the most telling part. I think that's just their best weapon on offense, and not completely limited, because I think Lagway's played really well this year, and well enough for them to win some games, and be really competitive in games I thought they wouldn't be competitive in if he played the entire time. But yeah, without your best weapon, that's having to play Georgia with 2 hands is hard enough. Doing it tied behind your back, a little tougher.
So Eugene Wilson out, and starting corner Jason Marshall out. The Gators ruled both of them out last night. Look, the only one that matters, availability report-wise, is the one on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So, some tricks? No, probably not.
Boy, yeah, Greg Sankey would have a field day with that one. Yeah, you think Ole Miss is getting in trouble with faking injuries on the field?
You must just know, they cannot play. They are out.
A trainer has told
you. Because if you put out, they are going to hold you to that.
Yeah.
Put questionable. Just make Kirby think about it, right?
Can you put highly questionable?
Sure.
Can you put an HQ in there?
Why not? Other games this weekend, Ole Miss at Arkansas. This is now Mississippi -8, so the money beginning to flow in the Rebels' direction as we might have anticipated. Interestingly, the Auburn-Vandy game has ticked up a half point. Now Auburn -7.5. Still like Vandy in that one.
Yeah, I do too. Crazy enough, I just trust Vanderbilt not to do the crucial, stupid thing late in the game.
Right.
And I need to see it again from Auburn before I can fully trust them to not do the stupid thing at the end of the game that cost it to them. As long as Peyton Thorne. I trust Preston Thorne with the drive being the quarterback in the fourth quarter of a game more than I do Peyton Thorne at this point in time to just not turn the ball over, because that poor kid has had a rough year. He's had a really rough year.
And Tennessee, 17.5-point favorites, now opened at 16.5 over the Kentucky Wildcats. I'm still taking Tennessee to cover that spread.
Yeah.
Not sure where my line is drawn.
They
somewhere around 20.
They beat the hell out of teams on the line of scrimmage.
Well, what was the Kentucky-Florida score? 48-20. Does that sound right?
Yep.
Yeah, Tennessee's going to do that to Kentucky.
And Tennessee's going to run the ball with more ease.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. And Kentucky's going to have to start loading the box and really selling out for the run. And this would be a really good practice game for Nico Iamaleava to try to get the ball within the same zip code as his receivers on deep balls. Which he connected on in the second half of that Alabama game. That first half, it was pretty miserable.
So completing passes is important?
Allegedly.
Okay.
Yeah. It's better than throwing interceptions, sure. But if you have a man running wide open down the field, which Tennessee has had a lot of times this year, and you overthrow him, the same reason
nice to hit him. Yes.
Same reason those fans were ready to evict Joe Milton from Knox County is the same, that Nico's doing it the exact same.
Doesn't Tennessee have some hot shot coming in next year too?
Yeah. Another guy coming in next year who's the number 1 or 2 quarterback from that class.
Yeah. So.
And that offense will attract good quarterback prospects because you just want,
put him in.
Ever since Heupel's been the coach, man, those guys get schemed open downfield pretty well.
Don't worry. Josh Heupel will be at Oklahoma next year. It won't matter.
Yeah. We'll see.
Lane will be at Florida.
We're going to do a
Josh
complete
will be
shift
in Norman.
around. Yeah. John Gruden finally comes to Tennessee.
Dogs and cats living together.
I tell you what, man, a Spider 2Y banana. You don't need a fancy inverted beer if you
does John Gruden not already have the lake house? That was the rumor.
He's got an unhinged TikTok account. Maybe also based in Tennessee. I don't know.
Let's get to Michael up next on the phone line talking Gamecock football. Hey, Michael, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, guys. How are you today?
Doing all right.
I've been thinking a little bit about the game this Saturday, and I think it has a lot of potential to be a Lenora Sellers breakout game. When you think about it, a lot of stuff is lining up. Texas A&M pass defense isn't that good. Also, Lenora Sellers has able to have a bye week to where he could fully utilize rather than early in the year where he was injured. And when I say breakout game, I don't mean 300-400 yards passing and like 4 or 5 touchdowns. I'm thinking maybe 250 yards passing, a couple of TDs passing, and maybe a running touchdown. I think that's very possible for Lenores to finally put it all together because he hasn't had that game to where from the beginning of the game to the end he was great. And also no turnovers as well. I feel like if he had that kind of game, I just feel like we'll finally be able to see why this kid has had so much hype coming into the year, into the future. And I think it's possible, and I think Carolina can pull out a W if he does that.
Yeah, I like the way you worded all of that, and quite honestly, Michael, when you said, because I didn't know what you were going to tell us specifically, when you said breakout game, my initial thought went straight to stats, and you kind of corroborated what I would have thought. Like a breakout game doesn't mean you're going to throw for 400 yards, and I don't think that's in his game.
That's not what's needed.
No,
I'll say you don't need. But yeah,
I thought 250 plus 50 on the ground. Yeah, and don't turn the ball over. I think what you mean, Michael, and I'll agree with you on this point from a hypothetical standpoint, is controlling the game well enough with the Carolina offense that you're still in it and that you haven't made the mistakes that beat you against Alabama. Lenoris didn't make any mistakes that beat South Carolina, beat themselves against Louisiana State. That was the defense, which is ironic considering how great the defense has been. And some of you still may say the officials too, which, again, I understand. But that's beside the point. But I think he's right. And Louis Bellina, who was with us earlier talking Aggie football, did tell us that if there's a spot to watch at times, he sort of used both sides of the coin, though, did Louis, when he said, there are times when the A&M secondary is able to be thrown on. But in a lot of one-on-one situations, they've got some guys. He said Will Lee was one of them, and I forget the other one.
B.J. Mays. He picked off 2 passes against LSU.
When I think Will Lee, all I think of is the drummer for David Letterman's band with Paul Schaefer for all those years. Or I guess Will Lee played the bass.
Say it fast enough, it just sounds like you're saying Willie.
Will Lee played the bass. He played the bass. No, Michael, I think you're right. I think the point he makes about the off week does matter. How much? I don't know. How much did it hamper them a month ago? How much does it help them now? In the grand scheme of life, is it all just kind of thrown out in the wash? We'll see. But I think he's on to something there. But truthfully, Michael, the number one thing for Lenoris is protect that football.
Mm-hmm.
Because in crucial situations, it's unfortunate. And I'm going to liken it to Garrett Cole last night. Garrett was pitching brilliantly, and then some just boneheaded mistakes, including one on his own. And it's like it just overshadows everything. This is the guy who took you into the seventh inning. Lenoris is throwing for whatever number of yards against Alabama. You're winning the football game. You're controlling the clock.
You get a big interception.
Your defense continues to do its job. And then just a knuckleheaded mistake is what anybody's going to call. Like, dude, no, don't, no. Like, that's what it was. Avoid that, and you've got yourself a pretty good opportunity. Hey, you want to go to that game? Got a final pair of tickets to give you. 803-404-6100. Back to caller 5, 803-404-6100. We're sending you to the Carolina A&M game. Good luck.
107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach. The Game Network.
It's back! The Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest. Just go to 1075thegame.com and register. The pot starts at $100. Every week it increases $100 if Carolina doesn't score a special teams touchdown. But if the Gamecocks do score a special teams touchdown, you could win the pool. Again, just go to 1075thegame.com and register. It's the Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest from 1075 The Game.
This is Zach Gelb of the Sports Minute, sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. The Indianapolis Colts have benched Anthony Richardson for Joe Flacco. And obviously Flacco gives the 4-4 Colts a better chance to win right now, as Indy has a tough 4-game stretch right around the corner. But benching Richardson this quickly into his career is Indy admitting they already know they made a mistake in picking him, because if they thought Richardson could still be their franchise QB moving forward, there's no way they would sit him down. I'm Zach Gelb.
Hey, sports fans, if you're not calling John Anthony, you're simply missing out. To prove it, I'm releasing your Thursday night report absolutely free on recorded message line. 1-800-244-5506. Houston at New York tonight is going to be a monster game, and I've got the side and total. Houston, New York, confirmed analysis, plus pro hoops and college football. That's 5 big plays. John Anthony has you covered. I love to sweep the board. Call now. Hear him for free on my recorded message. 1-800-244-5506. Information wins. John Anthony Sports, number one against the spread. 1-800-244-5506. You want the information? I've got it. Houston, New York, plus college football, pro hoops, and special prop action. I love to go 5-0 the season free. John Anthony Sports, number one against the spread. 1-800-244-5506. That's 1-800-244-5506. Or go to johnanthonysports.com.
Sponsored by JFSR Group.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh.
Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Former CIA officer Jason Hansen here. In my line of work, I've seen firsthand how fast the world can change. With rising geopolitical tensions and inflation eating your buying power, it's time to take action. For me, that means gold. And for gold, I exclusively trust Advantage Gold. I urge you to do the same. Call them now at 800-900-8000 for a free gold guide to discover the security that comes with owning precious metals. Again, call 800-900-8000 today.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Elijah Campbell on your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Welcome back in. Final few minutes of the postgame show on this Halloween Thursday. Many of you might be in the car heading out to do some trick-or-treating, whether it's in the neighborhood or they do the trunk or treat at a lot of places now, schools and churches and such.
Trunk or treat?
Yeah, it's where you basically it's kind of like setting up for a tailgate, but instead like the kids, it's usually for the younger set, and they you go from car to car.
Get candy from strangers' vehicles. Yeah. Everything that we were taught as kids. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
I think the trunk or treat, again, is typically done at like schools and churches, where I'm going to really, really hope that everything is good and safe.
I'm telling you, the biggest misnomer.
Don't put things in people's minds that make them afraid. This is why trunk or treat was created, so that you don't have the fear.
Let me tell you this. The odds of your kids getting drugs in their trick-or-treat, their candy baskets this year is like the same odds as getting attacked by a polar bear and a regular bear in the same day.
Okay, that's good.
Drugs are expensive, man. They ain't giving them out. People aren't going to use them for free. I'm telling you, Jay Phillips, that stuff is expensive. All right, drug dealers are here to make money.
They're the best form of capitalists, right? They're doing it illegally.
They're about as good as anybody at it. The black market runs about as efficiently as the regular market.
Again, I'm a Bond aficionado, and what does Dr. No tell James? He says something about superior minds, and Bond says, "You mean the superior criminal mind?" And Dr. No says, "The criminal mind is always superior. It has to be."
Yeah.
So there's that.
The stakes are a little higher, buddy.
There you go. So you've already done your dressing up.
I have. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Had a Halloween party last Friday night.
And again,
after getting off the air.
One more time, I've done nothing to hide my just genuine disappointment, and I want him to feel that. I'm not angry at him. I'm not mad at him, but Elijah. Again, is giving off a real Barry Gibb vibe with his new haircut. Elijah lost about, maybe 6 inches?
It was about 6 or 7 inches of hair. It was a lot of lettuce.
It was long, man. And now it's Barry Gibb. It's like right there at the neckline and just below. And you got the beard rocking. I mean, you got the chain on today. I mean, you may as well be Barry Gibb, and yet
I'm just Barry Gibb in sweats.
You just chose to just come to work regular.
I'm tired of Barry Gibb.
Yeah, well.
But
what are you, like Anthony Richardson? Tired.
I'm tired. I'm tapping out. I'm about to lose the locker room.
On that note.
Talk about just an absurd sports story.
Yeah.
An absurd story.
Anyway, now so I'm looking forward to tonight. Again, don't have any little ones anymore to go taking around. So I kind of miss those days. And I kind of don't.
Got to watch a scary movie now.
It was fun. We used to, the Kimreys are gone too. Of course, they don't have any little ones either because their youngest, he's probably still trick-or-treating a little bit if he wants to, but he's in like middle school now. But anyway, we used to go over to their neighborhood and go over to Ryan's Haunted Trail, and Eric and I may or may not have packed a beer or three into.
See, that's the trick-or-treating I want to do. I want to go to people's doors. I'm just going to knock, and instead of opening it for candy, I'm going to hope you drop me a nice ice-cold IPA in there.
I remember one night, Eric and I had a couple, and we're walking, and I forget what it was, and all of a sudden I just let Eric start talking about play calling. And for like 20 minutes, I got like in a good way, right?
Yeah.
I got like a lecture, and I'll call it that, like like in class, right?
Like a TED Talk.
Yeah.
You got a play calling TED Talk.
Yeah, and
I would attend.
Yeah,
I would choose to attend that.
And I'd already known Eric a long time, but and you're in that setting, and you're sort of a captive audience. I was, again, in a good way, and I'm just like, this dude, like, needs to be. He's good. He's good, And that was probably like 10 years ago.
He's on his way up.
I think so. But good luck to the Brewers. Those of you who may be headed over to their neighborhood in sort of southeast Columbia, have fun. Be careful. Ryan, again, is not trying to kill you.
Just scare the hell out of you.
But he is trying to get you to use your insurance.
That's a hell of a way to put it.
So,
I was just thinking, exercise your fight or flight responses.
Well, that too,
which also can ultimately result in having to.
But if you have to use insurance, listen, enter at your own risk. Right?
The Geico Gecko is on standby. I'm sure his phone is about to be blowing up tonight.
He may have real geckos. Are geckos poisonous? Do they have any type of poisonous gecko that you may have to avoid at Ryan's Haunted Trail tonight?
I don't know if poisonous geckos exist. Maybe.
There's definitely poisonous reptiles.
I'll have to consult my gecko expert.
Yeah, I don't know if there's gecko. I don't know if the geckos. I'm sure, like the little insurance guy, he's fine.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he speaks in a English accent, so he's good. He's perfectly harmless. No matter what you're doing, have fun tonight. Be safe out there. Drive a little slower through the neighborhood, please. Watch out for those little guys and girls. They're having fun. And we'll do it all again tomorrow from Columbia Craft with our own tricks and treats, I assure you.
1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Meanwhile, I can stay with a little trick or treat theme with our friends at the Joint Chiropractic because it's a treat to feel better, right? It's the trick is where to go. See what I did there? Thank you very much. No, seriously, the goal at the Joint Chiropractic Centers is to improve the overall health of their patients with affordable, convenient chiropractic care and make sure that these things don't keep popping up. If you're bothered by back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, you get up in the morning like, a little too stiff. You don't need an appointment. You can head straight to the Joint. They open up at 10 o'clock every morning. No appointment is ever necessary, and you don't have to worry about insurance. If you've never been and you have some questions, for just $29, you will get a consultation, an exam, and a chiropractic adjustment. So you can get the questions answered, get a checkout, and see what's up, and then feel better about it, too. They've got you at Harbison, Forest Drive, Roberts Branch off Killian in the Northeast, Sunset Boulevard in Lexington. And remember, you can always go online to thejoint.com. You don't have to feel bad to feel better at The Joint.
Sponsored by Compassion International.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevy. It's back to cool season with big-time savings on Tahoe Suburbans and the all-new Chevy Traverse. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive. Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
The Gamecock men's basketball season